Hey, this ain't a drill. Only time I'm playing is on the field. And when I'm on the field, no, I got mad skills. And you know we about to eat this a fast meal. Y'all gotta pay for this heat like a gas bill. We keep on coming back, so yeah, they mad still. Everyone sick, make them pay me some bad bills. Red, white, and blue like Superman, so you know we eating at the Super Bowl. Kill the competition, set up the funeral. Josh Allen catching all the shots you go for. We callin' blitz. Ready to start, we ain't calling no quits. I'm the #1 draft pick. A lot of y'all talk, but I ain't hearing it. Only listen to Keyshawn and Hit. Talk about the Bills dominating on the field. All our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill when we talk about the Bills dominating on the field, and our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill.
What's going on? Welcome back to another live episode of the Post Podium Podcast. We missed y'all. We really did. Listen, the recorded show did great, and I'm glad y'all enjoyed that. We had a lot of conversations in the comments, but let's get to this bad boy right now. This is gonna be a great show. All right, listen.
Hold on.
It's the home. It's the home of the All Truth, No Sodium takes.
Okay.
I am your co-host, Aramis.
40 keys. I was worried because I'm like, yo, you know what? Monday was cool.
Yeah.
But I missed the I missed the interaction.
It didn't have the same
we had
same
61
gristle.
comments. There was no meat on the bone.
Gotcha.
It was dry,
Gotcha.
man. I mean, you and Matt were fine. You know, I was bringing up the rear as usual. But I'm glad to be back in the house of the Post Podium Podcast.
No doubt. Listen. What are we if not, traditional in the sense of, how we operate the show?
I know. Because you got to think about it. Everybody's like, when do you guys have time to go? We don't go over anything.
No, we really
talking
don't.
About? You know what I'm talking about? I just know when I see the thumbnail when I walk in, I'm like, okay, all right.
That's it.
It's like when you go to the barber.
We go from there.
They look at your lopsided head. They be like, say less, I got you.
Yeah, well, okay. So to be clear about why we do it this way, we used to, when we first started the show, we used to talk like, this is what we're going to talk about. Mm-hmm. These are the points we want to get out and all that kind of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And it was cool, but we weren't able to get the same, shock and awe
right.
in our reactions. You
right.
know what I mean? So I think this is fine. This is
fun.
just fine. Yeah.
And now we're comfortable.
Huh?
We're comfortable, so it's just like whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Before I was like, I ain't have to do this stuff.
Nah, they can't do it like us.
Nah.
We had a discussion going in the chat already. It seems like our title and our thumbnail is poking people.
It's struck a nerve?
Yeah, it's tapping in, it's dancing on the nerve a little bit, just a little bit.
Just so y'all know, I don't make them. So if you want to throw vitriol.
Well, okay, so I ended up getting into it with somebody in the comments, and I just finally got to the point where I was like, yo, where else can I be hyperbolic if not my show? You know what I'm saying? Like, I should be able to get on here and just say, because all of this is just for the sake of conversation. If I wanted to be, an NFL analyst or a journalist or something like that, I would have went to journalism school. You know what I'm saying? But I'm doing this because these are conversations that people try not to have for the sake of being PC.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm completely against that. I think that's the power of podcasts is we get to buck the system in that fashion.
Yeah.
But listen, Roy's starting already. The conversation, the overarching conversation for this episode is built around, does Matt Milano have less value than Dorian Williams right now?
Yes. Okay, have a good one, y'all. See you later.
Well, I typically don't create titles that are easily answered in that way, but I figured this would be a good conversation to have at this point in time because we have Matt Milano coming back off of yet another injury. He played in the game against the Jets. But I didn't notice him. Did you? Mm-mm. So, and I'm not using that as the foundation for any point. I'm simply saying we need to have a serious conversation about where Matt Milano is in his contract and in his career right now.
Yeah, I think when you think about Matt Milano, people are reaching to make a point about Matt Milano to make him visual. How he pounced on the fumble on the fumble recovery, how he was out there, he didn't miss a tackle, whatever it was. I mean, that's fine if you're talking about Balin Spector, but this is a former All-Pro.
Exactly.
This is a former cornerstone of the defense. Now we're excited because he didn't cause a fumble, he just fell on it. He didn't pick it up and run to the score. He just fell on it. So, yeah, that tells you right there when we're having a conversation about what to do with Dorian Williams, where the Libra scale tips.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely, if Dorian Williams' name is anywhere near Matt Milano's in any conversation, it's about that time.
Right. And I think that's so. I wanted to do this myself, but you the stat guy, so I'm gonna lean on you. Can you pull up for me Matt Milano's stats for the last 5 years? Don't include last year because obviously he was out most of the season. Or I'm sorry, this season. Don't include this season.
This and last, he only played 5 games.
Well, yeah. Okay, so don't include the last 2 seasons, but the last 5 seasons, or the last however many seasons before that, what was his highest tackle total?
You're looking at combined 2019 101.
Yep.
Let's see. Let me
This
just.
man got a whole spreadsheet.
I'm gonna build it real fast, so I just want to impress you,
Don't impress me. Impress the phone.
I just want to make it look. I want to make it look.
One of these days, I'm gonna get like a spy cam, like a little button or something like that, put on my hoodie so people
everybody
can see the screen. This is incredible. This stuff just gets built in seconds.
So you're talking about combined tackles for Matt Milano in 2019, 2022. 19 at 101, 99 in 22. He had 65 solos in 19. And 72 solos in 22. So, I mean, you're talking about his best years were 2022 and 2019. It was a blur since then.
All right. How many tackles does Dorian Williams have this season?
Dorian Williams, before they benched him, was the team's leading tackler. He had over 100.
Over 100?
Before they benched him, yes.
So, in really one starting season for Dorian Williams, he's more effective as a tackler, I guess.
He had 113 tackles.
113 tackles.
Yep. 11 starts, 16 appearances.
Right.
66 of those 113 were solo. 5 tackles for loss, 2 quarterback hits.
So this man easily could have made the Pro Bowl just off of tackles.
Yeah.
Like really,
5
seriously.
tackles for loss for a linebacker. Yeah, that's pretty good.
So the way he was trending, he probably ends up, if he played the last 6 games, right? Six games?
6.
If he plays the last 6 games, he easily ends up with 150 tackles.
Oh, yeah, easily. He had 1 fumble forced, 3 fumbles recovered. Yeah, so, I mean, he was on his way. They're trying to make a way for Milano. So, yeah, it's kind of disparaging when you look at what they've done with him when he's shown what he has and what he can give. Everybody knows he's not that great in pass coverage, but he's not horrible.
Right.
We got gashed by the Rams, Kyron Williams. We got gashed by I'm not even going to say it. Well, I will say it. The Pro Bowl. Actually, did he play the Houston Texans? Did Milton didn't play, or not Milton? The Houston Texans running back.
Oh, Mixon?
Mixon didn't play. He was hurt that game, I think.
Yeah, he was hurt.
Yeah, so no, there's no reason why they wouldn't force feed Matt Milano the way they did. Was he ready? No. I mean, did we have a disparaging need for him? No. It's that simple.
Yeah. I mean, let's just park the conversation here at this juncture and just appreciate what we just said. We have an all-pro linebacker that came in and specialized in pass defense and shooting gaps, and he's a pretty good blitzer in Matt Milano.
Yeah.
And he was, while injured, replaced by Dorian Williams. Dorian Williams comes in and has what should be a Pro Bowl season if he had played every game.
Yeah, more than likely.
And I think where people may not be willing to maybe immediately lean on Dorian Williams has better value right now is because of the equity put in by Matt Milano. Mm-hmm. I mean, the guy actually won an All-Pro. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the few players that we have on this team, not named Josh Allen, that has done enough and has been worthy enough to be named an All-Pro. Right?
Yeah, this is going to be his first time as a first team, I think.
Who?
Josh Allen. I know he was a second team. I don't think he was a first team ever.
Yes, that's right. That's right. This is going to be Josh Allen's first time. Yeah, well, a lot of that is because the interceptions, turnovers, basically. Yep. That's in my mind, that's the only thing that people can say that held him back, which a lot of people pointed out recently, just as a side note, bunny trail.
Mm-hmm.
This obsession with interceptions. Somebody pointed out in the comments of last episode, friggin' Brett Favre had a bunch of interceptions, still won MVP. Peyton Manning had like 18 interceptions, still won MVP. But we'll leave that for the MVP conversation if we wanted to get back into that. My point in this discussion is to just bring into people's minds the idea that we may be on the cusp of a transition at linebacker. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's necessarily something we need to see as a bad thing. I understand the loyalty of, Matt Milano's put his body on the line and yada, 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 yada. I get it, right? But we're seeing what has happened with Matt Milano happen with Terrell Bernard just the same, right? These are guys who played safety in college, not linebacker. And yet here we have Dorian Williams, who played linebacker in college and is coming in and doing what linebackers should do, which is tackle the ball carrier. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Dorian Williams, if given the opportunity, I think could grow into being an elite blitzer at his size and with his speed.
He's already here if you scheme him.
Right.
Yeah, he's already there. And you got to think about it, too. People talk about his coverage. By Pro Football Focus, 6 of his 11 starts, he's been above average graded in coverage.
Wow.
So, a lot of it, and I'll get into it. I'm going to nerd out in a bit because I had a lot of numbers here, but it's going to prove a point. So we're gonna shelve that for now. But just know that the scheme that we run on defense has a lot to do with what Dorian Williams allows in terms of coverage.
Yeah. Nathan Oliver says free Taryn. I'm not sure. Well, I'm not opposed to a base set. I'm not, and this is something I even talked to Damaris about. Mm-hmm. Just to like the idea of running a base is you just got to do whatever you need to do to stop the run. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's something we'll see in the playoffs, maybe not.
Right.
My hope is that we do, because that means the Bills are serious about stopping the run. But for the sake of this Milano Dorian Williams conversation,
let me just address this. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sure. No. Go ahead.
Steve Noble, do you think this high tackle total is because teams are going at him when they would not do that to Milano? No. This is why. If you're a pro coach, my thinking is this: Milano's a wounded duck. He has brandished a weakness, his arm. He can't tackle. I'm going to run right at him until he proves that he can tackle. Exactly. His first 2 games this year, he missed an abundance of tackles. He was out of position. He was not ready to play. So if I'm going to game plan, I'm game planning Milano versus I'm going to game plan Dorian Williams, which the league knows is a tackler. The league knows is a run stuffer. So, it'd be interesting to see how many tackles he has in pass coverage, which I don't think is a disparity. I think more so you don't run towards our best run defender, which would be Dorian Williams.
Right. And that's the idea. And that's what made me think about this conversation in the first place, because realistically, in the playoffs with the teams that we're going to see, Dorian Williams has more value right now. Mm-hmm. That's where I stand on this. And there's no way I'm backing off of this. And here's how I can say this. With the way that this team uses Taron Johnson and the way that they use Terrell Bernard, those are your cover guys in the middle right now. The way those 2 guys are asked to play the game, Taron Johnson is a linebacker, essentially. Yeah. He's just a smaller, faster linebacker than even Terrell Bernard is. Yep. And if those are your guys, and then you're putting Matt Milano out there who, let's be honest, he's compromised, because you don't come into the NFL and 2 full games back, you're just not thinking about the injury at all. That doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. Right? We saw that with Trey White. Took Trey White forever to get used to being on the field with live bullets. Right. So it happens. And I'm not saying Matt Milano is going to take that long, but I don't want to chance his mentality, his healing process, his anything. I don't want to take the chance that he's not 100% in the playoffs and have that be something that we have to chalk up as some excuse of why we didn't win. Well, Matt Milano wasn't mentally there 100%. Well, we got Dorian Williams, who's been there all season long, and would have for sure had a much higher a tackle total than Matt Milano ever had. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Can he work on his coverage? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. But let's be real. For a safety to come down and play linebacker, honestly, in a lot of ways, it's much easier than it is for a linebacker to learn how to cover in the NFL. Mm-hmm. It just is. That's the design of the positions are completely different. You know, safeties, for all intents and purposes, in certain defenses and when they're asked to do certain jobs, they are linebackers anyway. That's what a box safety is. Yep. You know what I mean? So I don't want to make this into a conversation of who's the better player. Right. Because that's not what this is about. That's not what the question is asking. It's asking who has more value right now. Right. And if we're talking about what the Buffalo Bills need on defense, it's got to be Dorian Williams. Mm-hmm. You mean to tell me Matt Milano is going to be a better option than Dorian Williams against the Ravens? No. Somebody make a good case for that.
You can't. I mean, look at it. Their biggest weapon is predicated on what? Speed. Yeah. Elusiveness. Which one's faster, Matt Milano or Dorian Williams? I'm looking at a 4.49 speed on a linebacker, 6'1", 230. He's a scud missile. I'm looking at a guy that's a headhunter. I'm looking at a guy who's going to get a couple personal fouls for unnecessary roughness. I mean, it is what it is. And the thing is, he's only going to get better. You know, just like you saw, like I told everybody when we first started the season with Damar Hamlin and Taylor Rapp, they played well together. Let Dorian Williams and Terrell Bernard cook. They've already built a rapport. Yeah. 11 games worth. I mean, I don't know how many games Dorian Williams has been hurt, but he's been pretty durable. You know, that's more than we can say about Matt Milano. Heck, right. That's more than we can say about Terrell Bernard. So,
right, exactly.
I mean, right now you're looking at, we're going to get a good look at Ulafasio, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Obviously, Joe Andreessen we're going to get a good look at. But, you know, more so than that, we want to see Dorian Williams play. I want to see it.
Yeah. Real question while it's on my mind is Buffalo Joe further ahead in his development than Ulafasio?
You're not gonna like this answer, but I think Buffalo Joe was better at special teams. That's why he gets denied.
You're right.
I know.
You were absolutely right.
This is what it boils down to, and this is gonna go into my nerd out session later too. This boils down to the fact that I don't want to call him a try-hard because that's a disrespectful term. Yeah. But high motor. You know, he runs hot. He doesn't stop. He's always high energy. That's Buffalo Joe. Ulafasio played at University of Washington, where, you know, it was aired out defense, but at the same time, it's University of Washington. Right. You know, you're not facing running teams all the time. You're facing passing, where Buffalo Joe had to come in and take Sean Dolak's spot. Yeah, I had to plug him. But, you know, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what happened with his ankle, but he missed last season completely. And that's how Buffalo Joe got denied, because he was at Division II or whatever before last year. He played 1 year at UB, and boom, you know, he just kind of blasted on the scene right now. But I think Ulafasio, if you look at what he does, he's more hamstrung into what we want from Matt Milano, that coverage role. Mm-hmm. He's not as physical as Dorian Williams, but he's fast. He's not as fast as Dorian Williams, but he just plays a different kind of game.
What about? Because I imagine Ulafasio is more a middle linebacker than he is a weak side or strong side. Mm-hmm. You know, whichever. I see him as more of a middle linebacker. Yeah. With how Terrell Bernard has been trending, I honestly think it's another maybe 1 or 2 years before we're looking at a very similar situation with him. Mm-hmm. I think part of the reason why the Buffalo Bills have this year alone invested as heavily into linebackers as they have, and the reason I can say heavily is because they almost never draft linebackers. Mm-hmm. I think it's because they see the flaw in the design of their initial plan of let's get some safeties and put them at linebacker. With the way the NFL is trending, you've kind of always needed big physical guys. Mm-hmm. And I think where the Buffalo Bills have I don't want to say whiffed, because, you know, Matt Milano is an all-pro and Terrell Bernard plays great in the system, but where I think they overestimated in a sense is they didn't think that guys like Roquan Smith and Devin White and EJ Speed or Zaire Franklin or some of these other, good, solid linebackers that can do both. Mm-hmm. They may not necessarily be, elite coverage guys, but they can cover. You know what I mean? Like mm-hmm. they transitioned and they trended faster than Dorian Williams is, mm-hmm. but I think that's because they all got their chance way earlier than Dorian Williams did. They started when they first got in the league, right? But all of that is to say, that's one of the decisions that I questioned from the beginning. Now, again, to address Roy's point, he said we've gone from McDermott bashing to Milano bashing.
Hey,
what does this
no,
world
we didn't,
come
Roy.
to?
We're trying to do a show here, Roy. Don't you want content?
Right, he's always trying to derail something. Unless you guys want to talk about the Patriots game, I mean, we can do that too.
We can do that, but it's going to be bad.
Yeah, right. So I, to address the point though, it's not to say that Milano hasn't been good. Milano has been good mm-hmm. when he's played. Yeah. And to me, that's been the issue. It's almost the equivalent of when, well, I don't know if I can say the equivalent. Who's a good player? Who's another good player that we had here that just could never stay on the field? Mario Williams was hurt from time to time, but I mean, he still came down with 10 sacks a season.
Yeah. Good players that never. Ooh.
That's a tough one, right?
That is a tough one.
Is that because we didn't have that many good players, like all pro level? You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, definitely not that. It should magnify it, but I'm trying to think. Let's see, injury wise,
Aaron Williams maybe.
He did that to himself, though.
He
definitely did it to himself.
Mad physical, yeah.
Oh man, I'll never forget that hit against the Patriots. Did him in.
Dante Whitner played. I'm trying to think about like Bill's draft picks.
Juris Bird, did he start to get hurt? He started to have a.
He did, yeah.
At the end. Obviously Tre'Davious White at the end.
Sammy Watkins, perfect. Laura hit it on the head.
From
That's it right there.
From his first game, he never recovered.
Got hit in the ribs and it was over after that.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's it. That's a prime example. Like to me, and we invested way more in Sammy Watkins.
Yes,
I think I'll put it like this. I think if Sammy Watkins was a 3rd round draft pick, I think people would be, where they are now with Matt Milano.
Yeah.
Where, which is cut him some slack.
Right.
Once you get to the all-pro level, there's an expectation. I'm sorry. Like, that's how the NFL works. Mm-hmm. It is by far and beyond any other sport in terms of what have you done for me lately.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? The way the contracts are set up and all that. It is literally what have you done. You can't get out of a basketball contract to save your life.
That's why it's called incentives.
Right.
There are incentives in basing this.
So thank you very much, Laura, for that. But that's the comparison to me is Matt Milano and Sammy Watkins. Great comparison. 2 players that you expect to be on the field to help your team in a big way because they are such great players, but they just can't seem to keep it together in terms of their health, right? And Terrell Bernard being on that same path, it worries me. And it's what made me start thinking about this playoffs and start thinking about, where are we actually planning to go from here? Because if the idea is, well, we'll just get right back to, playing with Terrell Bernard and Matt Milano, at their best. Okay, fine. Let's assume they're at their best. We've already identified Dorian Williams as a better tackler.
Yeah.
He has more tackles, right? So we're choosing the cover all-pro guy. And again, none of what I'm saying is designed to slight or disrespect Matt Milano in any way. But facts are facts, right? We're trying our best to deal in truth. So we look at the landscape of the playoffs and we say we're going to put the better cover guy out there. Okay. How bad did Dorian Williams play against the Chiefs?
I thought he was pretty good.
I thought he was pretty good too.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty good.
I didn't think he missed much. I didn't think they went into the game thinking that they could target him the way that they targeted him in the playoffs last year. if they really felt like he was that big of a weakness, don't you think they would have tried to, go at that in the second half when the Bills started to pull away and stayed ahead by 9 points? Mm-hmm. To me, that's just something like, look, we need this game. We want to beat this team. We want the 1 seed. Let's go ahead and go at Dorian Williams. We know he's the weak link. Okay, well, where was that? Yeah. They didn't do it. You know what I mean? So then you fast forward to what the Jets were doing. Matt Milano played in that game. Mm-hmm. He started and played the whole game, if I'm not mistaken, until they started taking starters out. But in that game, matter of fact, if you could you pull up the box scores for the splits rather for Bills Jets, and let's just look at how many third downs the Jets faced in that game.
Okay. This is the past Jets game, right? Not the first one?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so third downs, the Jets had 9, and they converted 4 of them.
Okay. The Bills had how many?
14, converted 8.
14. 5 more drives. Or I'm sorry, five more. 5 more third downs. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, I get that the conversion percentage is not as good as the Bills. But the point is, you weren't, and I did watch the game, mm-hmm. You weren't putting them in many long third down and distance situations that they didn't put themselves into.
Right.
You get what I mean? Like the way that the Bills played that game, it was, we'll give you the short stuff. Same stuff we talk about all the time with this bend but don't break defense. Okay. How in the world can you operate a bend but don't break defense with 2 safeties in the middle of your defense, two linebacker safeties that are, listen, they're great in coverage, amazing even. Watching Terrell Bernard and how he reads the field sometimes and how he just kind of sneakily gets into position, it's amazing. He reminds me a lot of how Jairus Byrd used to play. He's sneaky in a sense. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I love that about him. But where are some of those boom plays that you're supposed to get in coverage when teams are throwing the ball for what was their yards per pass?
Jets game, yards per pass. Let's see. Rodgers, okay, so he had, we can do the math real quick. He had yards per completion. He had 12 completions on 112 yards. Mm-hmm. Pull out my handy dandy calculator.
The suspense.
9.3 yards per completion.
Wow. Like we're talking about a first down almost every time he throws the ball.
Mm-hmm. And this is a game where Aaron Rodgers, yeah. So you're talking about, let's see. So we'll extrapolate that by attempts, 6.2 yards an attempt in a game where he had 112 yards.
Right. So the idea of a bend but don't break defense, again, and I said this, I think I said this in the last episode. When a defensive coordinator or a head coach says bend but don't break, I think it really means we can't actually stop teams until they get to a portion of the field where it's just too hard for them to get past our speed or to get past our whatever, in fill in the blank here. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't jive with me. Mm-hmm. It doesn't jive with me. You have an all-pro linebacker in Matt Milano, and you got a great cover linebacker in Terrell Bernard. You as a coordinator, and when I say coordinator, I mean Sean McDermott, you should be putting these guys in positions to pick the ball off way more than you are. The idea that Aaron Rodgers, and now I'm going to start disrespecting Aaron Rodgers because I don't care. He's played terrible all season.
He had a 1.2 QBR against the Bills.
Right, which is the worst since I forget the guy's
name.
Hold
on, you go ahead and talk. I'm gonna pull it up because I want to do this now.
Right,
I want to do this.
You let Aaron Rodgers come in here and throw for 6 yards a pass.
Mm-hmm.
Like, more than half the yards that he needs every time he throws the ball in order to get a first down. So, literally, if he throws the ball twice, by these numbers, if he throws the ball twice, it's a first down and one.
Mm-hmm.
Every time. Or and two, sorry. Right? And I'm sorry. There's no way you can justify that with the talent you have there. So, if it's and again, I'm not saying all this to say that these linebackers are useless and we shouldn't have them in there. What I'm trying to say is you have to use the talent you have available in the correct way. And as we get into the playoffs, I need to know that my head coach is going to take a look at this defense and he's going to say to himself, I got a young up-and-coming linebacker that's playing better than the guy that I still have coming off of injury. If I really want to do this team justice, at the very worst, I put Dorian Williams in there on first and second down, and then let Matt Milano come out there on third downs or downs when we know they're going to pass the ball, and let him do what he does best, which is not have to be physical and play coverage. Wouldn't you want to put your best players in the best position to succeed? Wouldn't you want to put them in a position to not have to put their bodies in too deep of a point of risk? You know what I'm saying? Especially when you know you're going to need this guy for another 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of where I'm going to go with this. The more I thought about it, the worse it got, because you keep using the word talent, you keep using the word scheme, and the more I delve into the numbers, the more I delve into what my eyes see, because people don't think numbers tell the truth. People don't think that your eyes tell the truth without numbers. I'll tell you both. We don't have much talent on defense.
Right, we really don't.
No. I mean, you know, they're of course they're better than us. They're better than us sitting here in this room. They're better than Max sitting wherever he's sitting right now. But when you look at the league as a whole, I mean, I broke down numbers here because I really want to know the defense on. I wanted to base this defense on skill and not the scheme and culture fits. Where are the playmakers? I'm watching a lot of bowl games right now. I mean, these guys are flying. They're doing the things that people bash Damar Hamlin for not doing. They're doing the things that they bash Taylor Rapp for not doing. But guess what? Who brings these people in?
Right.
Who keeps employing these folks?
Yep.
Who keeps going to the University of Oregon State? Who keeps going to Louisiana Tech and not Louisiana State? Who keeps going to Texas Southern and not the University of Texas? Who keeps getting guys out of UB? We got 3 guys that are borderline starters from UB. Love UB. They got a lot of me and my uncle's money. But we're talking about starters here. Cam Lewis.
Realistically, are they going to draft the guy you've been telling us about all season?
No. I mean, and let's look at it like this. If you look at our defense, Greg Rousseau is 10th in the league, and this is by Next Gen Stats, 10th in the league in pressures among D linemen.
So what?
Ed Oliver is 40th. That's the next bill.
Dang.
Von Miller is 49th. That's the next after Ed Oliver. Von Miller is 61st in time to a sack. 61st, he's our first bill with 3.8 seconds. A.J. Epinesa is the second one with 3.9 seconds. 61st and 69th. Let me take your attention to Greg Rousseau leads the team in quick pressures, which means you get a pressure within 3 seconds of the snap. He's 7th. Von Miller, the next one's 20th. There's one name that people keep bashing and keep showing up here. Von Miller has the second get off in the league. The second fastest get off in the league.
Yeah.
Javon Solomon 17th. He don't even play.
Wow.
Greg Rousseau 5th in the league with 3 pressures that caused a turnover. Daquan Jones 7th in the league. Defensive back is even worse. We got a kabillion-way tie for 33rd in interceptions. Damar Hamlin, Taylor Rapp, Rasul Douglas, Christian. They're all in there.
Yeah.
2. Our leading interceptors are tied for 2 interceptions. Terrell Bernard if you want them.
And Christian Benford just got one, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like that's the incredible part. Like Christian Benford has what, 2 now?
Yeah.
On the season? So he just got to tie with everybody else.
He just got to where Damar Hamlin has already been sitting.
So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Did how can I ask this question?
I ain't hating on the Beavers. I'm just trying to make a point. You know, you don't go to the Beavers for the first overall draft pick, or you don't go to Virginia. You want to go to Alabama. You want to go to Texas. You want to go to the SEC. in my mind, to get your number 1 overall pick. They there.
Right.
I can tell you right now, if you want a D lineman, just cover your eyes and just point at anybody on Ole Miss's front line. I ain't going to cut you off, but their defensive tackle, 6'3", 325. You know what he does?
What?
He runs the ball. They put him at tight end. And, oh, by the way, he's sitting next to the 15th overall best prospect in his draft. J.J. Pegas is the name, 6'3", 325. Don't forget about, I can't say his name, Princely, whatever. I can't say his name. I'm sorry.
You got it written down somewhere?
I can't say it. It's just, I can't.
Where is it?
Yamaimalin. Princely Yamaimalin.
I mean, like, change up the inflection. Yuman Malin.
I think they kept saying Yamaimalin on TV.
Listen,
I know.
If you listen to everything the announcer said, you're going to be broke.
You're right. Because we got Chukwumaka on our team. You know.
Exactly.
But Walter Nolan, these are guys at Ole Miss. 3 guys on their front line that do what we don't. Pick one. But no, instead, you're going to go ahead and get the punter out of Wichita State.
Yeah.
Somebody took a fancy to Kennesaw State off of college football 2025. Let's go get one of them. And we got to sit here and watch. Again, you know what I noticed a lot when I looked at the defensive backs especially? A lot of the names that I said in the preseason draft talk are better than our defensive backs. Already, Cam Kenshin. Oh, there's a guy I really wanted, Cam Curl. Remember him?
Yep.
He's better than the ones we got too.
Yep.
But no.
And both of those dudes are in the Rams. And by the way, they got another nickel corner that's the safety.
Yep. And Keaton Oladapo, he's better.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Keaton.
Listen.
There you go. Go Beavers.
Javon Bullard is killing it.
Yep.
Kalen
Bullock.
Kalen Bullock is killing it.
Yep.
Like, the only person that I haven't heard this season is Williams, the 6'5" safety out of Miami.
Yeah.
That's the only person's name I haven't heard this season. Everybody else is out there making plays.
It's going to come. And that's the thing. Like, you sit here and, you know, like you said, when it comes to Milano and McDermott and I guess we're bashing both of them. I don't know. Whatever. You gotta pick a struggle. Are you gonna have a short-sighted memory, or are you just gonna ride with it? You know, are you gonna ride with what we've had in the past, or do you want to get better?
Right.
You know, and that's the thing I struggle with. I love the guys we have. When we play Madden, I don't want to trade anybody. I don't want to trade anybody at all. But guess what? At some point you have to.
Right.
At some point you got to replace people. They get older. You know, and you got to cut the ties sometimes. Thank you for what you've done for us, but take a back seat or find another job.
Roy says, how many pass breakups does Benford have, if you have it?
Oh, I could find that.
While you find that, Nathan Oliver says, do y'all not see what the process is? Fit more value than talent.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
We see that. We see that. Right. Yeah. It's definitely more valuable to Sean McDermott than talent. But the playoffs is where talent shows up. The regular season is more about scheme and game plan and all the cutesy stuff that a team can do. Once you get to the playoffs, it is mano y mano. My best men versus your best men. Who can get their job done over the other person's players? That's what the playoffs is. It's a whole nother level. And I think Bills fans in general have gotten so comfortable with winning so many games in the regular season that when they get to the playoffs, it's almost I'm too high to care what happens sort of deal. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I've won so much. I've had so much fun. Oh, we lost the game. Oh, that's all right. But you know what that means? We get to do it again next season because we got Josh Allen, baby.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean?
My favorite statement.
Right. And to me, it's like, okay, I get it. I understand that you like having fun. But what are you going to do when that's over and we don't have a Super Bowl? Are you going to look back at this like you look back at the 90s Bills and say, man, it was wasted opportunities?
And that's what I don't want. I get the nostalgia. I get the talking points. I get the Josh Allen, the fun of it all. I was watching Dart from Ole Miss. He plays like Josh Allen, you know, more or less. And he was making the same throws. So what I'm saying is, guess what? Ashton Genty, he was horrible against Penn State. He only ran for 104 yards. His lowest output of the season.
Wow.
Oh, he was averaging 192 yards a game.
What?
Yeah. Fun fact about Ashton Genty, he had 1,600 yards after contact.
This season?
This season.
Damn.
1,600 yards after contact. The only person with more yards than him total is Bo Scatterbo. If you know anything about him, this is a loudmouth dude who says I'm the best white running back of all time. This is the guy that says I'm the best running back in the country, which he has 1,700 yards and 21 touchdowns. So, okay, I'll listen to you.
Right.
But the point is, what if Ashton Jeanty ends up in the Bills division? We can't stop the run.
Right.
Then what? What if Shedeur Sanders comes over here? I don't even like him that much, but I know he's got some kind of talent.
Yep.
What if Cam Ward comes in? What if both of them come in? Then what? What happens then? Because Aaron Rodgers talking about this might be it. You know, now the New England Patriots talking about we might trade Drake May and start over again and get a kit and caboodle. You know, so I mean, these are the things you got to think about when you're excited about Josh Allen. And yeah, it's fun now, but it's not sustainable.
Exactly.
What happens next year when teams have a full year of Joe Brady's offense, whether he's here or not, on tape? Because Josh probably will want to run some iteration of it, maybe a little more downfield stuff, after that. But it wasn't on tape before.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because that's one of the things that I've always wanted the Bills to capitalize on when they have it. And I think that's one of the things that I didn't even consider about this season is this Bills offense is surprising teams. When you take into consideration everything that they have and the way that they're using it, teams actually don't have tape on the way that all of these guys are used on the field at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's so unique about this 2024 offense is you have I'll say a 1B in Amari Cooper, and you have an actual number 2 in Keon Coleman. You have an actual great slot receiver who's your number 1 essentially.
All right.
In Shakir. You know what I mean? And then by the way, if you need a play here and there, you got Dawson Knox. Notice I didn't say Dalton Kincaid. Yeah. Right? But if for some reason those guys are busy, Kincaid's got you. Kincaid can still get it done against weaker talent right now. You know what I'm saying? So all of this is to say, this is one of those years that the Bills have an opportunity to capitalize. And I think it's part of the reason why I get so frustrated when they don't go the extra mile and do the extra things necessary to show that they understand where they are. Mm-hmm. This is a team that went into 2021 with the mindset of, we just have to be a little bit better than last year. We don't have to do too much. We already got Steph Diggs. We don't have to add any more receivers. If anything, we just got to get some stability in the wide receiver room. Let's go get Emmanuel Sanders.
Right.
How was that ever enough? Ever. It put more pressure on Beasley. Teams had the book now on how you're going to use Diggs and Beasley on the field at the same time. They didn't have that in 2020. Mm-hmm. Right? So now the book is out. Now you add on to that in Emmanuel Sanders, who, wasn't as good as he used to be coming onto this Bills team. His best year was back when he won the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning. Yep. That was it. So these are those moments, these pockets in time where you see the Bills have an opportunity to shock the league and snatch a Super Bowl while nobody's looking. And listen, I don't care if that's how they get it. I just want one. Listen, nobody is complaining about the Tuck Rule championship that the Patriots won. Nobody. When they talk about Tom Brady, they say he's the greatest of all time. Why? 7 rings. None of those rings have an actual asterisk next to them.
Deflategate.
Right, Deflategate. Nobody talks about that one either. So I don't want anybody jumping on my back about, well, I want to win straight up and I want to beat the best and the Patriots weren't doing that. The Chiefs aren't doing that. Their division has been just as bad as ours. The only difference is they understand how important the 1 seed is. You play one game and you on to the championship. That's it.
Yep. And to address Steve, we're sitting here talking about who should play and who should not. That's a hell of a problem when you're 13-3. So that's the thing. We're 13-3. We've seen this movie before. We've seen 13. We've seen 11 plus in how many years in a row? We've seen division supremacy for how many years? But when we get to the next stage, the stage that matters, what happens? And that's what we're talking about, Steve. We know we're good, and you know we're good, but at this point, at some point, it's not enough anymore. At some point, you got to move on to the next level where the talent heightens, where the stakes are bigger.
Exactly.
And 13-3 don't mean jack after next week or after this week. It starts over again, basically. And I mean, I don't know if you want to say what McDermott's record is in the playoffs, but it ain't 13-3. We don't have any hardware.
Right.
So when we're sitting here talking about, I forget, was it Roy that asked how many pass breakups Christian Benford had? He's tied for 41st with 5. He's got 5
for the season.
For the season, he's ranked 169th in passer rating allowed. So this
might be why he didn't get that Pro Bowl.
But see, this is what I'm going to say. People are pissing and moaning about how outraged they are that Christian Benford did. This is another local superstar.
Right.
Another guy that's helping us to 13-3, a crucial part of our equation. But our equation doesn't equal where we want to get to.
Yeah.
Our equation equals where we are now. Right. And if we sneak into the Super Bowl, cool. But guess what? That means Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes might have a Clash of Titans. And then whatever's left of them, hopefully, we'll cash that Money in the Bank title in, and we'll catch them when they're sleeping. Like you said, I don't want to do that because the chances of catching Lamar or Pat Mahomes sleeping, it ain't great. And people like to bring up about Lamar Jackson's playoff record. Look at his numbers. Look at what he's had around him before now.
Right.
I mean, Lamar Jackson just hand the ball off. I don't know if J.D. Hill is going to be back, but that's another weapon.
Yeah.
Zay Flowers found it. He found his footing. You got what's the other one? Moore, the wide receiver.
Who?
The Ravens' other wide receiver.
Bateman.
Yeah. I mean, that's another weapon that they didn't have before.
Right.
Never mind. All the years before in Lamar's career, what they do? They relied on tight ends. Now they don't really care about Mark Andrews. Isaiah Likely, he's okay. He wasn't good on my fantasy squad. And yes, that shite is over. Who won? Was it you or Mac? I don't even know.
Oh, the fantasy league. I won actually.
You won?
I
okay,
won
Mac. He's gonna double the interception yardage per point.
I should too. I should definitely do it. Oh man,
he's gonna double it.
No, I don't want to be sour like that. But yeah, I was very thankful to win that championship.
Yeah, he was going
to keep my IDPs in house.
Yeah. But if you look at like you said, there's a reason why. If people delve into the numbers, he's great in our defense, but our defense is built for less than.
Right.
That's go ahead.
It's designed to be a sum of the parts and not great when attacked at any single point. You know what I'm saying? It's like the difference between having a team of drones that can move well together and attack well together. But guess what? If I take out one of those drones with a sniper rifle or something like that, now all of a sudden all the parts don't operate the way because they're used to operating in sync.
Right.
And when you attack any one of those drones, those singular drones, it disrupts the way the entire swarm works. Yep. As opposed to I'm going in there with a stealth bomber. Now you try to take me out. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I get that the NFL is not so black and white, but I'll equate it to this. And to me, this is a representation of what Bills fans have purchased over the last 5 years. Okay, Key, if I was to walk up to you and say, "Hey, I got a car for sale," you actually taken me to go pick up a car that ended up being a lemon. Remember that Mark 8?
Yeah, yeah.
That was a straight limit, right? But you was nice about it. You ain't saying it,
it was cool,
right? So long story short. If I came to you and I said, I got a car for sale, and you said, all right, let me see it. All right, okay, cool. Come on, I'm excited. I'm telling you about all the amenities it got, man. It got the sunroof, leather seating, got all this stuff. It's dope, right? Rims on it. It looks so sweet.
Yeah.
All right, start it up. Let me hear it. Okay.
Like, nah, don't worry about it.
Hold on. That was just one try. Let me try again. Okay. That was only two.
Still good.
Right. Third time's a charm. Right? It's got to start now. You know what I'm saying?
Together.
It's cold. It's been sitting for a while. You know what I'm saying? I just replaced the gas pump on it. You know what I'm saying? So it might take a minute. It wasn't whole the last time I tried to start it, right? But it is now, right? All right, here we go. Okay, that was three. I get that you're nervous. But I promise you that this car it works. I promise you this car works. It's going to start. I just need you to just give me 5 more minutes. Give me 5 more minutes, okay?
Split it up.
All right,
Split it up.
you ready?
Yeah.
Time number 4. It's got to start this time, right?
wouldn't?
Lucky number 3 didn't go. It's got to be lucky number 4. That luck's got to come in some
come
way,
in.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Chance number 4. It was close. You heard there was a difference.
It did. Yeah,
There's a little bit of a difference. I got a little bit closer.
You got close.
Right? It's, man, I was right there. I was so close to getting it to start. Okay, well, listen. Here's what I'm going to do. I need you to give me 5 more minutes. I'm going to open the hood. I just need to check and make sure the battery is, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a transition period for this car.
Make sure you check them
You feel me?
caps.
Right. It's a transition period for this car. So I got to let me check the battery real quick. Let me make sure make sure I put the oil cap on, make sure there ain't a hole in the radiator hose and nothing like that. There's, okay. All right. So I'm going to check all that. Okay. So what's going to happen, Key, if I go to start that car a 5th time and it don't start?
You don't start.
Then what? My man, listen.
You look at me like, yo, it started before you came, though.
Right.
Watch this. Click. You get the click. You killing your alternator right now.
Exactly.
And Sweat said that. I mean, he said next time pump the gas 3 times. Make sure you do that.
That's how you know we used to dealing with the mold joints, bro. That's how you know, man. That fuel pump need a little bit of help. You gotta pump that gas pedal a couple times. Yeah, bro. But that is what Buffalo Bills fans are buying right now. They're giving Sean McDermott the money and saying, even though the car didn't start, I still trust you that at some point, after you've already taken my money, at some point that car is going to start.
We head over to Taco Bell today.
Right.
It's going to happen.
Right. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying the car is never going to start, but at some point you have to understand what the trade-off has been. You've now traded 7 years of Josh Allen's career for a chance that the car might start. It's not that simple. You're not going to have peak Josh Allen forever. How much longer do we need to wait, to actually get to where we're trying to get, right? And I think that's what brings up these conversations. That's what brings up the hesitation. That's what brings up the criticism and all that stuff. When it comes to decisions like putting Matt Milano on the field over Dorian Williams, I get that the man was a Pro Bowler. I get that the man is an elite linebacker in terms of leadership and coverage and all that kind of stuff. He ain't better than Dorian Williams at tackling. That's one aspect of his game. He's not a better blitzer than Dorian Williams, right? Mm-hmm. These are deficiencies that existed in the Bills' defense with Matt Milano playing at an all-pro level. Yep. These are problems that you need a skill set like a Dorian Williams to solve. Yep. So the question becomes, for y'all out there, does Matt Milano have less value than Dorian Williams right now? Yep. When you have a pass defense that has been as leaky as it is, when your best corner is not playing like he did last season, where Pro Football Focus had him rated as the best cover corner in the league, or best zone corner in the league, right? And you've lost both of your starting safeties. You can't lean on your pass defense to shut teams down anymore and it's just the run game we have to deal with. They are one-dimensional. They can't pass the ball, so they have to run it on. We've made them one-dimensional. No, they can do both now. Mm-hmm. And you're expecting Matt Milano to be a part of that process that stops both, where he really didn't have that before. Before it was, you knew you could shut down the pass. They have to run the ball. It just, to me, it just doesn't make sense. Whenever my team does something that doesn't make sense, I got to call it out.
Yeah. I mean, it's perfectly, when people sit here and talk about the offense, they talk about the offense. This reminds me of Chan Gilly days. This reminds me of Greg Williams days. It reminds me of Malarkey days where you had one side but not the other. Mm-hmm. Because we have had under McDermott with Frazier where we had a good offense and a good defense. We had 2 coordinators. Everybody said Frazier wasn't doing nothing. Yeah, he was. What's his name? Not Roman. I'm lost now. Dayball. We had a season where Dayball refused to run the ball. You know, they were having fun out there. You're talking about having fun now. Guess who's not having fun? Number 4. I heard number 4. I heard Himbo was pissed about not making the Pro Bowl or not being a first team.
Leads the league in touchdowns.
He got beat out by Joe Mixon. Now, I had a little comparison to that, and I just wanted to go through his angst because it's true. It's true. Joe Mixon, first team Pro Bowl. This goes into what I was telling people before when I said I don't care about none of this stuff. All pros, all I care about. James Cook, 5 yards a carry. Joe Mixon, 4.1. James Cook, 15 touchdowns. Joe Mixon, 11. James Cook, less rushes, has, 12 less yards than Joe Mixon. He has more receiving touchdowns. He's close in receiving yards per reception. Less receptions. A better fantasy score if you want it. But what's the common denominator here? And this is no fault, but this actually has something. I bet you it has something to do with Josh Allen, because they say James Cook would not be able to do anything without Josh Allen.
Well, that just about solves the MVP conversation right there, doesn't it?
Maybe, perhaps, I don't know.
No, it has to. Like, okay, think about it like this, just real quick.
Mm-hmm.
If James Cook, if the perception is James Cook couldn't have done this without Josh Allen, we know Derrick Henry was able to do it without Lamar Jackson.
Well,
Derrick Henry has a 2,000-yard rushing season without Lamar Jackson.
Long time ago. And that's the thing, he had a resurgence with Lamar. But see, the reason why I say, who votes on the Pro Bowl?
Analysts.
Analysts vote on Pro Bowl?
Journalists and analysts.
Okay, I know they do. I know they MVP, and I know they do all pros, actual players. So if your player is doing this well, and Derrick Henry, cool. You know, Saquon Barkley, is that really something to hang your hat on when they sit you down and you're throwing a fit over there when you still need 103 yards or something like that?
No, 101.
101
to break the record.
To break the record.
100 to tie, 101 to break.
So Dickerson did it in 16 games. Mm-hmm. You've already had your 16 games. It's over, brother. It's over, brother.
Right, yeah, that's true, too. I thought about that, too.
Yeah.
I was upset that he wasn't going to play and what that meant for him and his legacy, but at the same time, Dickerson will always hold the record because he did it in 16 games.
I mean, he's still number 2. It's fine.
Yeah.
You know, but going back to the James Cook point, people are going to perceive that if it gets out, now he's selfish. Now he's this. Are they not? Because he's putting himself above the team. Now that he's mad that he didn't get an accolade. I don't, because I want my team to have that kind of fire, because that fire gets you to the next level. Everybody's talking about we're having fun, this, that, and third. It's a great time. The hell with that.
Right.
You know, I don't want to take this religious, but just go with me here. Everybody eats. What are you eating? We're taking communion, basically. Mm-hmm. We're still hungry. I'm still thirsty, but I got a nibble. I got a little sip. Nobody in this team got a meal. Nobody on this wide receiving team got any kind of meal. There's meat on the bone. 25 yards here. They're talking about getting 14. We can break the record of having 14 players. Who cares?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I don't give a dang about none of that.
Right.
We got bona fide players on this team that can catch the ball. Mac Hollins, Curtis Samuel, Mari Cooper, Tyrell Sabers, KJ Hamler, who probably might play on Sunday and get that 14. Who cares? I mean, the thing is, it's like, what are we really doing here? Do we care that one person did everything, or do we need everybody to have fun? I don't need everybody to have fun. I mean, the Buffalo narrative is look at this. We got one guy who does everything, or one guy who's demanding. No, like I said last show, he's demanding because I'm open.
Right.
I'm always open. Just throw me the ball. Why do you think Josh threw it? It wasn't forced. He knew where his bread was buttered. Yep. And I'm not saying Steph Diggs made Josh Allen. I'm not doing that. But what I'm saying is, where is the iteration that Josh says, I'm throwing it up somewhere, and they're going to beat underneath it? Is it going to be Keon Coleman? Maybe. If he keeps doing that stuff he did in the end zone on Sunday, jumping over, taking the ball. You're right, Ty Johnson wouldn't catch that ball, but Keon Coleman was.
Exactly.
And it's like, I don't want to take my past athleticism, because this is gone, baby. It's gone, long gone. But Keon really wasn't that high off the ground. You know, when you think about it,
True.
the goalpost is 10 feet off the ground, the crossbar.
Yeah.
His hands were not, I mean, his head wasn't even at that. His hands were barely there.
Right.
So,
and he can jump higher than that.
He can jump higher than that.
Yeah.
He can dunk a basketball, and that goalpost is a regulation rim. You know, so let's stop. These guys are not behemoths. These guys, they're regular guys. Some of them are taller, some of them are wider, some of them have more athleticism, but they're regular people. But guess what? These guys get paid to do a job, and their job is to catch the football, run the football, block for the football, throw the football, kick the football. That's their job.
Right.
Let's leave it like that. Yeah. Because nobody's saying, hey, you guys are doing amazing. You guys are the best at podcasting, or you guys are nobody's saying that. When I go to work, nobody's saying you're the best baggage claim guy ever. You're the best this person. No, I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
Hey, trust me, if you see me at work, say you're doing a good job. I know you're from PPP because nobody says I'm doing a good job. They only talk to me when they're mad.
Yep.
You know, so I'm like an offensive lineman. When you say, did you know that's David Edwards? No, that means he did a good job. You know, that's the mentality of a good team. When you did a good job, you did what you're supposed to do. I'm not lauding every little – and I think that's where my perception is screwed up. Like when it comes to Josh is the quarterback. I'm like, he's doing what he's supposed to do. I mean, it's fun. There's a lot of flair. Yeah. But he didn't get a 5,000-yard season. He didn't throw 50 touchdowns. His percentage is way so in my mind, I'm not on the committee. I'm not trying to take away from the guy. But statistically, this is his worst season. And also, this is one of the easiest seasons because Joe Brady was a mastermind scheme and people are open. What did they say about – oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I will say this to that point.
Mm-hmm.
I do think we have to consider – because remember in the last episode when we looked up Patrick Mahomes' 5,000-yard season, his defense was horrible. Right. And we've even talked about Joe Burrow's season that he's had this year. He's over 4,000 yards, and he's got more passing yards than anybody in the league right now. But his defense is absolutely trash right now. And so, like I agree with with the foundation of your point, which is, you know, quarterbacks need to do what quarterbacks are supposed to do and not rely on, you know, the fluff and stuff like that. But the first part of this point is, I think the reason Josh's numbers are down is because he has the most complete team he's ever had. In terms of a team that can run the ball when they for the most part when they want to. They can run the ball when they want to. As opposed to Brian Daboll's offense where, you know, they never ran the ball and they couldn't run the ball.
Hey, Tommy, they had Devin Singletary. Say no less. Say no less. That tell you they didn't want to run the ball.
He's burnt.
I ain't forget Tommy.
No, he did. He definitely did not. But yeah, so I think, and the second part of this point too is when you look at what Josh does when he scrambles, it's actually by design. I think one of the things that Lamar Jackson knows and Patrick Mahomes knows and Josh Allen knows is it creates a lot of stress for a defense when I get out of the pocket. Because you know what I'm saying? Like now you have no idea what you're supposed to do. You cannot cover as a corner or a safety or a linebacker or whoever. You cannot cover somebody for 7 seconds. If I can get out of that 3-second rush.
Wait, can you say it again?
You cannot.
McDermott, are you listening?
You cannot cover somebody for 7 seconds.
No.
Wow. It's not possible.
Wow. You think one Bills driver knows that?
Why you say that?
They ain't got no pass rush. they want the back seven to cover for 10, whatever. You know, whatever the case may be. But I mean,
well, they think that hard work trumps talent. That's what they think. They'd rather get a humble guy that's gonna come in and be a good locker room guy and just develop into this elite pass rusher through his technical prowess and
no traits whatsoever.
His technique. Yeah, no traits.
With no traits.
We took a 3-4 defensive end, and his pass rush ability is a little bit better than our best defensive end right now. That's where the Buffalo Bills are. Look up the numbers. If you want to pull them up, you can pull them up. But A.J. Epinesa as a pass rusher is slightly better than Greg Rousseau. Yeah. The numbers bear it out. Yeah. The numbers bear it out. Yeah. But this is – Rousseau is supposed to be a $20 million guy. And as a pass rusher, he's slightly worse than what's supposed to be a 3-4 defensive end. Hey, listen. I'm not making this up.
Mm-hmm.
Numbers are numbers. This is truth derived from facts. Say what you want.
Roy Keller said, "You must know his ex. She always said he couldn't cover 7 seconds either."
Roy, we gotta have
these people.
We gotta have a drink sometime. Man.
I love these folks, man. This is why I'm like, if I don't get any more subs, the people that are here, I mean, come on now. This is the epitome of family.
Yeah.
But when I talk about Josh, it's like I said, I tread because I know where I am and I know the enemies I'm getting ready to make. I'm not bashing him.
I'm not afraid.
Well, Josh is a different monster. Your car might not be there when you go outside to leave the building. But no,
right.
I mean, my thing is like when you look at the way he's playing this year, everything is yak, which is what we wanted. Everything is short. Everything is I think he's at the third lowest completion percentage of his career this year, second or third. I can't remember which. But the point is, he's not going to get 4,000 yards. He's not going to get 30 touchdowns passing. Well, he's definitely not now because he's not going to play. Well, he's going to hand the ball off.
He'll start, but he'll probably like hand the ball off.
He's going to hand the ball twice and boom, okay. Yeah, he might run a touchdown just to infuriate me with James Cook back there. What are you doing? But I would be.
I'm going to break the record for you, James.
Right. Or no, he'll do. He's just handing the ball and pick him up and carry him in. Just to really make me mad. Who gets the touchdown? Josh, whatever. Oh, God.
Is James Cook climbing on Josh Allen's shoulders? We've never seen this before, ladies and gentlemen.
Josh's touchdown. His feet weren't on the ground. He's holding James like a football. But when I look at what we're talking about here, we watch college. And I want people to I'm encouraging people, if you can, go watch the bowl games. Tell me who you like. Tell me who you don't. Tell me why. Not because I want to argue with you, but it's so much for me to pay attention to. I got a running list of guys I'm watching now. I even watched the HBCU bowl game, which has a lot of talent. People need to really delve into that. They need to tap in. But at the same time, you're looking at a team that is so close, so close. What is Curtis Samuel going to be? Is Curtis Samuel going to take the Amari Cooper role next year? Is Amari Cooper going to take a hometown discount because he's having so much fun in Buffalo for the first time in his career? I'm going to make this way. Are you going to do it? Do we want to do that? Is that going to block us from getting a younger talent that can do what he does? Do they want to develop? Do they just want to buy it? It's like IKEA. Do you want to buy it disassembled or do you want to buy it already put together? Yeah. They're always buying put together. They don't want to see, like you said, when you're a coach. The main job is to want to develop. The main job is going to want to mold. The main job I identify taste. Yeah,
your boy. Yeah, your point brings that out so much more. Knowing what we know about the types of players that Sean tries to bring in, the idea that we have to get seniors, 4-year starters, guys that are polished coming out of college. Just so that they're prepared for whatever you want to teach them.
Right.
To me, that makes your job at that point is not even teaching. You want to bring in polished players?
Yeah.
Who are you developing? You know what I'm saying? I'd much rather have a guy that was case in point. And this is probably a bad example. Who's a better example that I could use?
Okay.
I'll even go with Lou Anarumo in the Bengals defense, right? When you look at where they are defensively, their defense is not great. But what do they have on their defense right now that they didn't have last year? A bunch of young players. Last year they still had DJ Reader, great run defender. One of the things that they could do last year is stop the run. Right. DJ Reader went over to Washington, I think, now, and they're good against the run, if I'm not mistaken. DJ Reader is playing next to Jonathan Allen. So there are caveats, there's nuance, there's considerations that go into why a defense is what they are. But one of the things that we have seen this year from that Bengals defense is they can get takeaways. They've been in all these shootouts and made plays and beaten these teams that have gone into shootouts with them because on defense, they can figure something out. They can blitz. Lou Anarumo is one of those dudes, like a Steve Spagnuolo, who won a Super Bowl with the 26th ranked defense. Why? Because he had a few players on the team that he could trust to do a few things here and there in key spots to make a play. They weren't elite players. They didn't have – Chris Jones has only been on that team for, what, 4 years?
Was that KC?
Yeah.
No. Chris Jones is –
He's longer tenured?
Yeah, he might be. Is he?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about Karlaftis.
Oh yeah, he's no, I don't think he has 4 years yet.
So Karlaftis is right now he's their best defensive end, right? And
2 years in.
Yeah, right. Okay, there you go. So all of this is to say, when you look at the way these two teams have developed their players, right? Nobody still thinks that the tight end Watson on the Chiefs is any great shakes.
Right.
But the dude is making plays this season. He's making more than he made last season.
Yep.
And last season he made more than the season before. I think he's only been in the league 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. But all of this is to say, these teams take young players and they develop them. Mm-hmm. We watched Xavier Worthy get better as the season went on, right? Keon Coleman, realistically, mm-hmm. Where's his development? He's making every play he's made this season is all the same exact play.
It's the same catch. It was basically the same catch he showed all preseason or all training camp.
100%.
You know,
jumping up, catching the ball over everybody, or making a deep contested catch. Mm-hmm. That's it. Mm-hmm. We want this guy to come in and do this one specific thing. This is what he did in college. He's not going to be expected to be any more than that. We want him to be. If he is, it's icing on the cake because he developed. He turned out to be great. Yeah. I'm pretty sure the hope for Greg Rousseau was Greg Rousseau would come in and turn into Mario Williams.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
I'm sure that was the hope for everybody. Mm-hmm. How close is he to Mario Williams right now?
Not even close.
Not even close. And again, this is not to disrespect the team. It's not to disrespect all the hard work that they're putting in. They are playing good football. There's a reason that this team is 13-3 right now and about to be 14-3. I'm saying all this to say that even with all of the success that we've had, even with all of the good play that we've seen, even with all the winning that we have, it's amounted to nothing.
Yeah.
The actual outcome of all this winning has been nothing. And anybody that's trying to sit here and tell me that, you know, like I've heard all kinds of points. Only one team wins the Super Bowl. You can't win every year. You can't, like all these different sayings, mantras, whatever that basically speak to it's okay to have all this winning and not win a Super Bowl. It's okay to not win a Super Bowl. Basically, it's what you say. It's okay to not win a Super Bowl. It's all right. There's a silver lining. Mm-hmm. We still get to go and win 10 games next season.
Yeah.
Again, the mentality has to be, what are we going to do when Josh Allen is out of his prime? Because then the conversation is going to be back to where it was when he was a rookie. Well, we got to put a team around him. It's been the same way for as elite as Josh Allen is, you and I for sure have been saying before we even started this podcast, Josh needed a team like this around him his rookie season so that he could be the way he is now back then. Right? We waited. We waited because even when the Bills were Super Bowl favorites in 2021, that team couldn't run the ball. Like, our head coach was fighting with our offensive coordinator to run the ball. Going to the media to try and put pressure on them to run the ball. Mm-hmm. Still didn't do it when it counted. Still couldn't do it when it counted. Right? Mm-hmm. And so now we go into this year's playoffs. And again, I think Laura said earlier, like, she didn't want to get ahead of herself in terms of, and I'm paraphrasing, she don't want to get ahead of herself in terms of, just assuming that we're going to lose the season. Let's see what happens. I wholeheartedly get that point. I'm not even worried about what's going to happen in the postseason. I'm more worried about what happens after whatever happens in the postseason.
Yeah.
Because if it's not a Super Bowl, let's just say it's an AFC championship. Are fans going to be, like, realistically, are you as a fan going to be happy that the Bills made it another AFC championship game?
If we lost in AFC championships?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be happy.
I wouldn't either. Because in my mind, we've already done that. We've already been there. We've seen what that looks like. I don't want to feel that pain. I was what Steph Diggs did in 2020 is the embodiment of what I felt. I just, you know what?
I'll take it a step further. If they do it again, I'm gonna be on the field like this. I'm gonna drive to the state wherever this is. Do this. Who's that
Josh. Oh my gosh, but yeah, like that's, oh my gosh. The first round of the playoffs this season is like, man, we can't make no mistakes. It's not like the last pretty much every season that we've been the number 2 seed, which is pretty much every season we made the playoffs. No, it is actually every season we made the playoffs, we've been a number 2 seed or worse. It's always been a team that we're not really that worried about. Like nobody was really worried about the Colts. I was, because I knew they could run the ball, and they wouldn't need to do much passing in order to be effective on offense against us. That game ended up being a nail biter the whole way through. You know what I'm saying? These are the moments that I'm looking at when I come to this conclusion of, look, even if it's an AFC championship game, it's not actual success. The 14-win seasons are not actual success. Actual success is being the best of all the other 31 teams in the league. That's actual success. Actual success is people talking about how well you draft. People don't talk about the Bills like that. They talk about, the players they like on the team.
Yeah.
I really like that Deion Dawkins. I really like that Matt Milano. These are good, solid players, right? But you don't hear no analysts talking about you. You don't hear Shady on that show talking about, they got some dogs in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. You know what he said in yesterday's episode? You know what he said? What? He said one of the reasons he said Josh Allen should win the MVP is we got sound issues.
Somebody said they heard a little buzzing. I was just making sure it was
a little buzzing noise.
Yeah.
Okay, June, real quick. The sound cord that's coming out. Just check the connection on those. Push them in together. It's probably a feedback loop going on there. No. I mean the one that's on the floor. So follow this skinny.
Jiggle it.
Look at where I'm pointing. Follow this black sound cord there and check where it's connected to.
Jiggle it.
Yeah, just push it in together. That should get rid of that. Okay, so no, I get it. I get it. You may not think it does. Just trust me. Shady said that Josh Allen should win the MVP because he's done more with less talent. Mm-hmm. Like, realistically, we praise Josh for that, and we appreciate Josh for that, and he's right. Josh Allen should win MVP because he's done more winning with less talent. But how proud should we be that we have a great quarterback doing a whole lot and getting credit for doing a whole lot with lesser talent than other teams that are in the playoffs that we have to go beat?
Shady's an idiot. You know why?
Why?
We got 13 guys that can catch a pass.
A touchdown pass?
No, we got 13 guys that just catch a pass. Everybody's eating. Everybody's excited. What is Shady talking about? Because everybody here is delighted with the fact that we can just throw the ball to anybody. He'll get 25 yards. There's guys in the league that get 25. Keon Coleman averaged, 19 yards a catch? Khalil Shear had 25 yards in the game. James Cook had 26 yards, and everybody's eating. The hell what everybody eats. If everybody's eating is people getting this nonsense, I don't want none at this table. I'm going to my mama house. I'm going somewhere else because this ain't it. I got to eat again somewhere. Remember that time with the Bravos? And I looked at my plate. Y'all was like, yo, we'll just take you to McDonald's afterwards. I ain't even touched my food yet. We'll just take you afterwards to McDonald's. That's how this
want none of that.
Dude. It was enough. I saw my plate was mad white space. I said, y'all was like, oh man, he's not pleased. Just taking to McDonald's. And it's like that's what the Bills are. It's like, we shun the guy that can get you 1,000 yards now because we saw it last year and it didn't vibe with the locker room. The hell with the locker room. Because guess what? Khalil Shakir's job be a lot easier with that guy. Keon Coleman's development would be a lot easier with that guy across from him. You know, Dalton Kincaid could probably take a step, not the next step, a step, if he had somebody on the field that could do that. Never mind what they're trying to – I mean, Matt Collins, fine. He did his thing. For what they asked, he's the only one I can say went above and beyond his expectation. Because nobody had no – they said, is he going to wear shoes this year? That's all we cared about.
Right.
You know, and to see 5 catches this year that were not first downs at least, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, so –
well, so
go ahead.
do we have to consider this? Because this is, if we're going to be objective, and this show is all –
No, you're objective. I'm mad. No,
we're all truth, no sodium here, right? I think Laura brings up a very good point.
No, brother.
She said maybe they're not developing these players to your standards, but it's happening. I think that's right. I think that's right. I think they're not developing players to my standards. And let me be clear about what my standards are. My standards are the Chiefs. My standards are the Eagles. The Eagles, listen, their defense is going to be insanely good for years to come. Even if they don't have a pass rush, they are going to have the best secondary in the league, bar none, next year.
You know what my standards are? We'll start at 2019 because Josh is 18. Ed Oliver, has he become elite like we thought he was going to be? Have they developed him to be elite in our system?
He was last year in the contract year.
He was last year in the contract year. Cody Ford, glad we got him. Tommy, Motor Singletary. Dawson Knox, did they develop him? No, they just said, you know what, do what you can.
True.
Boshawn Joseph, not on the team. Jaquan Jones, they tried to tell us he was a starter. No. Daryl Johnson, had promised. They got rid of him. Tommy Sweeney, whatever. Let's go to 2020. AJ Epinesa, did he get better? No.
He got a second contract.
He got a second contract because he accepted $6.5 million.
Right. He didn't have to.
He didn't have to. Zach Moss had to leave Buffalo to get better. We thought he was trash.
No, he's actually pretty good.
He's good. Gabe Davis, I mean, did he get better?
No, he did not.
Jake Fromm, who cares? Tyler Bash, I want to kick him out of Buffalo. Isaiah Hodgins never did anything. Dane Jackson, was he really here? Anyway.
Dane Jackson is not even where he is now.
Right. he can't
win where he is now.
Man, Greg Rousseau, same. Boogie Basham, Spencer Brown, okay, he improved a lot. Tommy Doyle, Marquez Stevenson, DeMar Hamlin, Rashad Wildgoose had to leave Buffalo. Jack Anderson had to leave Buffalo. 22. You know what? Kyer Elam. How about let me pose this to you. You know your team is developing people when you can tell me who our cornerstone player is. Who is it? On defense, who's a cornerstone? Terrell Bernard?
It would have to be Matt Milano.
Matt Milano. Now, yeah. But guess what? They ain't built around him.
Yeah.
They ain't built to his strengths.
I don't think they build around anybody though.
That's the point I'm getting at.
Yeah.
You know, when you're talking about a blue chipper like, we'll go with your boy Will Johnson. Do you have any faith the Bills will say, you know, Will, come on in. You are the best cornerback, second best cornerback in the nation. We're going to do what you do best. We're going to insulate you. We're going to build a scheme around you because you're our franchise player.
No.
Coming off the Pagula Express. They won't. And that's the problem.
Team first.
Team first. Even Josh Allen. They didn't build around Josh. We still don't know the offensive identity. You lucky you got James Cook running the ball, or else we'd be doing the same stuff we did before. We don't have a marquee wide receiver that does great what Josh does. We don't.
Yeah.
They're lucky they got Josh, not in the sense that he's talented, but in the sense that his mentality is, I'm not good enough. You're the at worst second-best quarterback in the world. At worst.
Yeah.
Okay, at worst, third any given day. At worst. I don't care. Any hater can say that. You're never going to hear a top 3 that doesn't have Josh Allen in him. Mm-hmm. But this guy, he's still a try-hard. He's still out there trying to prove himself. He's still out there trying to be better than he was before. It's on me. I got to be better. No.
You know what? I think I have the perfect example here. Tell me what you think of this.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody that's in the chat, everybody that's watching right now, seriously think about this for a second before you answer. Who would you rather be? Would you rather be middle management at a very big and very successful company, and let's say you make, I don't know, the equivalent of whatever $90,000 a year is in your respective town or wherever you're from. Mm-hmm. $90,000 is not bad here in Buffalo.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Or would you rather be a professional gamer, a social media influencer, where you so good at a game, or you're so good at marketing yourself as a social media influencer that you're making $90,000 a month? Which would you rather have? Which would you rather be? I think pretty much everybody who likes money would say, well, I want to be a social media influencer, or I'd rather be a gamer. Right? You know what the social media influencer and the gamer have mastered? They've mastered their respective fields. The gamer has mastered the art of playing his game to a level that makes him better than pretty much anybody he's going to go against. Yep. He's elite in what he does. You know what the social media influencer works on? She's mastered, or he's mastered, the art of marketing and maximizing their reach with whatever product they're pushing, or whatever their personality quirk is, or their shtick, whatever they do that they've learned is attractive to other people. They've learned how to monetize that. That is what they've become elite in. So for anybody that has chosen the $90,000 a month, you've chosen an elite living lifestyle, right? I don't know of anybody who would choose blue collar, $90,000 a year working for somebody else at some successful company over the money you make as a social media influencer or a gamer or whatever, YouTuber, whatever, right? And the idea is, we already work towards doing what? Making more and more and more money. We strive to be the best in our field. We strive to be the best at our job. Why? So that nobody else takes our job. So that nobody else can say that we're not the best at what we do. So that nobody else can come in here and say that guy's replaceable. Mm-hmm. So if we are already taking on the mindset that we have to be the best, why are we not expecting that from our team? Why are we making it okay for these tryhards to get in here and do a good job winning 13, 14 games a season, and, oh, it's all right, we'll just come back and we'll try again next season? No. Right. If I want to be a social media influencer, I want my team to be one too. There's nothing wrong with that. Right. People, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not.
And I got to come to aid Aaron Butler. I think he's a Lamar fan, which I am too. However,
this might be the guy I was debating with in the comments of last episode. It might be. I don't know.
But you know what? I like a lot of the points he's making, only because it's conversational.
Yeah.
And if you're not subscribed, I hope you do, because we do. I don't know about the chat, but we appreciate your insight. Even your thoughts. I honestly do. But I think a lot of people in the chat are agreeing with us. They Scott Blakely said, I'd rather be a senator making millions off trade tips.
Yo, there you go. There you go.
Let's see. Sal made a bunch of good points. I mean, they're going back and forth with Aaron here, but Richie Fresh, a lot of good. They're making. This is flying off the handle, and I'm loving it. But the point is, when you look at, like you said, you look at somebody who knows they're supposed to be here versus just happy to be here. Josh, I want to win because the city deserves a Super Bowl. Damn it, I do too.
Right.
I'm tired of going out there getting my face kicked in. Where my troops at?
Yep.
Even
with this point here, real quick, the comic vet says influencers burn out though or get turned on. Listen, even if that's the case, we've already seen what that looks like with Matt Milano. Like, he came in here, he became an all-pro player, and now where is he? Yeah. He can't stay healthy for the last 2 seasons. Yep. So it's gonna happen whether you're elite or not. I think the point is you get elite and you capture lightning in a bottle, and hopefully that lightning in a bottle ends in a Super Bowl. And if it doesn't, guess what? You're just like every other team in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So it's not like we have to be fearful of that per se, but we have to make sure that we do the best job that we can to get elite level talent at every position so that it's easier. Look, think about realistically. When the Eagles are all healthy this season, how hard does it look for them to win a game? It don't look hard at all. Mm-mm. It don't look hard at all.
Yes, it's almost criminal how they have so much talent spread throughout the team.
Right.
You know, it really is.
This is a team with quite possibly a top 5 defensive line and the best offensive line in the NFL. The best.
The best running back.
The best running back.
Yeah,
a top 5 receiver in A.J. Brown, and quite possibly a top 15 receiver in Smith, Devontae Smith.
And they got the number 2 rushing touchdowns rushing. Oh, it's not Saquon. It's Jalen Hurts.
Right.
Their quarterback. I mean, while you're talking, I'm looking at this here, and while we're talking about our defense, you know, Ed Oliver, what is this? This is his 5th year? He's got 27 sacks in his career. Greg Rousseau, 4th year, 25 sacks. A.J. Epinesa, 21.5 sacks in his 5th year. I mean, how long is it going to take him to get to 100 sacks? Von Miller has how many sacks? 100 and whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and he's only been in the league for 10, 11 years. Mm-hmm. That's average about 11 a year.
Exactly.
We're looking at our top guy in McDermott's tenure, Ed Oliver, 27 sacks. That's equivalent to 4 sacks a season. 4 sacks a season. And nobody sees anything wrong with this. Why don't we go to interceptions?
Kev, that's a little relative. Kev says and paying their QB more than J17. I mean, Josh got his contract before Hurts did. I think that's the only difference. It's not that Hurts is valued over Josh Allen.
Lamar got his contract after Josh.
Exactly.
It just happens.
Yep.
You know, Tre'Davious White is our leading interceptor. He's been here. What was he here? What was that? 6 years? 18 interceptions. Matt Milano is our number 2, tied with Tremaine Edmonds with 10. Where's the playmakers?
Right.
See, the Bills like to massage the notion that we have them. You don't. Well, you might, but your scheme doesn't allow them to get after it.
Exactly. Let's say it like this. It doesn't allow them to be consistent in that fashion because it's a lot like the offense.
Yeah.
They've taken the defensive approach where everybody plays and everybody eats defensively, and they've applied it to offense where no one player is going to be elite. That's what gives us the edge. No, actually, when you're going to match up in the Super Bowl against probably the Eagles, and you got to deal with that wide receiver tandem, plus that running back, plus that quarterback, plus that offensive line, do they even have a tight end? Who cares? It has not mattered this season for that team. Yeah. And the one thing that's been stopping the Eagles, and you know, because I'm using them as an example, is injuries. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, they've beaten up on teams. And when they're at their best, they look better than the Chiefs do. They look better than the Ravens do. You know what I'm saying? Like, just even if you just put a piece of paper in front of me with their rosters and you said, look at this roster, tell me who's better. Mm-hmm. I'm going with the Eagles every time. Are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we'll see what happens with the Lions and the Eagles. They're going to match up in the playoffs.
They damn near reconstructed the national championship winning defensive line of Georgia.
Yeah,
that's really what they did.
Which is insane because you combine that with
N'Kobe Deans and
Cooper DeJean.
Cooper
playing nickel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's not even their number one corner.
Right.
The guy they drafted in the first round is quietly having one of the best seasons for a rookie corner ever.
Quinyon, right? Quinyon Mitchell?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one I wanted.
Right.
But see, the thing is, when you move up for a skill position like Kyer Elam.
Wait. I'm sorry.
Go.
I'm going to bring this up. Broken Table says Bills defense has ball hawks on every level. You're right. So much so that our defensive tackle is tied with our corners for interceptions.
Yep. Our backup defensive tackle.
Right. Ball hogs at every level. All got 2 interceptions. Yo, if that's the standard, I don't want it. Throw it out. I'm sorry. Give it back to the restaurant. They can have it. That's not what I want for my team. Oh my gosh.
that's sad.
Steve says, "What's the truth? The same people who say they believe in McDermott and this team talk like an insecure fringe playoff team trying to avoid teams and hoping for an easy path. What's real?" I'm one of those people hoping for an easy path.
Oh, I would say if that's Steve Noble, I say Steve Lynn in the building.
It's definitely Steve Lynn. No, you're right. You got it. You got it right.
But no, it's true.
Yeah.
True. You know, and it makes me sick because you know the narrative. You know Nick Wright is waiting. He's already got his pen and pad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, Stephen A. already got, if it's not Dallas, it's going to be Buffalo. It's got, you know, you're waiting for the narrative to occur. So why dip and dive? And it was funny because I was listening to when Blues drive, something I almost never do. When I was driving from the gym the other day, yeah, I work out sometimes. But you know, but the point is, they were talking about how Josh Allen has to go through a gauntlet, Mahomes and Lamar and this, that, and third. But then they were like, you know what? And I'm like, Lamar has to do the same thing. You know, he might have to do the same thing. Yeah. Josh Allen's in that gauntlet. Pat Mahomes the only one that ain't got to face all three, or if Burrow makes it, he ain't got to face all three. He's going to face two.
Yeah.
You know, so why is it that we get the asterisk? The asterisk is because the Bills are a team that nobody thought was going to win, and nobody thinks it's good enough to win. It's always going to be a technicality.
Yep. We
don't have anybody that's going to take the bull by the horn and call it an analyst or call it somebody in Twitter. You know, I was watching what I could of the Ole Miss game earlier. Well, actually, I finished that one. Lane Kiffin. During the broadcast, they're making fun of how this dude tweets, and he said something in his halftime speech. He's like, "Watch, we're gonna have to get a tweet later. He's gonna tweet something stupid out later." He said this, but the Bills don't have nobody that does that. Like it's always. See, Buffalo is so used to having character guys that when players put out these what do you call it, these cryptic tweets, they ain't say nothing. But the fact they said nothing means they said something, because we don't have anybody that will say something. That goes from the top to bottom. Josh Allen, Von Miller, 13 years in the league. You ain't got nothing to lose. Talk. Speak your truths. Yeah. James Cook's brother, Dalvin, he said something about, don't worry about it, little brother. You got to get paid in a couple weeks. Oh, does that mean the Bills are getting ready to extend? No, it don't mean nothing. It just means you're going to get your money in a couple weeks. Now people are, it means a signing bonus. Ain't no such thing as a $20 million rookie signing incentive. It's not there.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. People have free press. Say whatever you want.
Yep.
I don't care. Talk on the field. That's what you're supposed to do. What they say on the field, make your pads talk. Make your pads talk.
100%. 100%. Welcome to the chat, my man. Welcome to the show. Now, to be clear, because you came into the comments, or the chat, rather, you part of the family. You stuck now. Ain't no getting out.
Nope. I might call you up by name, X.
Right. He says, or she says, late, they said Dickerson broke a 14-game record in 16. Nobody cares later. Let that man break it. That's a good point. That is a good point.
Well, I think the only person that
Walter Payton did it before Dickerson, didn't
he?
Who did it before Dickerson?
It'd be OJ. OJ had it.
Oh, that's right. But
that's right. You know what's funny? I don't care. Dickerson has it. Honestly, only person that really cares about it is Rams fans and Dickerson.
Yeah,
because he's the one hating on Saquon. I forget who it was. Who was it? Barry Sanders. He was praying that Ashton Genty broke his record. He said, he tweeted out, "I'm getting my popcorn. I'm gonna watch this." Because that's the spirit of the game. He said records are meant to be broken. Eric Dickerson is a 6'3", 220-pound running back that has been outshadowed by Derrick Henry. Because if Derrick Henry played in the 80s, there would be no Eric Dickerson.
Right.
There would be no, because you are the first version.
Yep.
But Saquon Barkley coming out of Penn State was him. He was him. He had the little LT earring, the little dangly Lou Gossett thing. It was crazy. But, you know, when you talk about a guy that's holding on to a record for, what is it now? Because I think he broke it his second year, 84.
40 years.
Yeah, so he broke it in 84, and he still doesn't win it broken. Dude, you're in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
A record's a record. It's yards. It don't matter.
I will say this, and I think this is more of an argument for why Barkley deserves a shot at playing in this upcoming game. For Dickerson, it's always been about the name. Right. His name is a part of history that has not been erased for 40 years. And I think for any player that plays at the NFL level, they don't just want to play the game, they want to leave a mark. It's part of a legacy for Dickerson now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that carries his name from here on out.
You heard? His last name is Dickerson.
That's what it is.
What the?
You might as well just be saying Grady Dick for all that. Like,
Right.
why is that a yo? I'm not hitting the button. I'm not. Nope. My hands are up here. I'm not hitting the button. I'm not hitting. No. No. Grady Dick is his actual government name, just like Eric Dickerson has a legal right to be called Dickerson.
He left his mark. What? His name is etched in the annals of time. No.
What? No.
But no, you know
refuse.
what? You know my comeback to that though. My comeback. Don't do it over here.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
I got stuff to throw. So, but no, the thing about I think about Eric Dickerson. Damn, that was pretty bad.
You gotta actually make it above the desk. Come on, okay.
But no, I mean when you think about this, and I know what you're saying. I get it, but when you think about the league, O.J. Simpson's record's been broken for 40 years, 40 plus. Ain't nobody forgetting O.J. Ain't nobody forgetting L.T. What record did he really break? He changed the game based on who he was. Everybody still wants to be L.T. Kids ain't never seen him play. Right. You know, so we're talking about Eric Dickerson. I'm not talking about him because of –
What'd you say wrong?
I don't know. I started and then he just made a move like he was about to just do it.
Whose first name?
Get him caught. But we have been seeing a lot now. I think about it, but it's fine.
Yeah,
but
it's
because
okay. It's all right.
But the point remains. Well, I mean, you saw Bob Dole. Right. But no, I mean the point remains. You know, you leave your mark. Mike Vick. He's Mike Vick because of what? EA Sports video game. You know, kids that grew up in that era, they don't think about Mike Vick on the field unless you were a football savant. Unless you're watching with your uncle. We were at the age where we were in high school or whatever, so it was a college. I don't even know what year it was, but we were at the age where it mattered. But kids coming up, 10 years old, 9 years old, they got a Vick jersey because he's sweet on the game. And now they're almost 30 years old. They're telling their kids about, on Madden 2001 or whatever, he was unstoppable. He never won a Super Bowl. My thing is like, okay, Saquon Barkley is one of one. Why? Because of the reverse hurdle. Little things like that will make a video game. They put that in a game. How dumb that is, I couldn't even begin to tell you, but they put it in a game. And, you leave your mark in various ways. And a record is a record. Eric Dickerson was the first humongous running back with wheels. He was a trendsetter, they say, for Adrian Peterson, who gives him credit. For Derrick Henry, who gives him credit. Guys that are Hall of Famers, guys that are all-time greats, say because of him, I am who I am. Mm-hmm. That's all you need. Barry Sanders ain't did amount to jack. But he knows. Everybody that saw Barry, any highlight of Barry is like, yo. Matter of fact, on Instagram, there's this British, I don't know if he's African or what, but he's a British guy who they show, certain players for the first time. Mm-hmm. And like I'll see if I can find one, but he'll watch the play. He's like, okay, I gotta watch Lamar. Bruv, what was that? Like this little stuff.
Oh yeah. I think I've seen that guy.
And like it's like he's watching guys that amount to a bunch of nothing. Instant, to people that really watch football or watch any sport. But the mark is made because of the little moments that they have. Mm-hmm. So for Eric Dickerson, we remember you, if nothing else, because you came out of SMU, you had the Jerry curl with the goggles. What running back was wearing goggles if a little kid and Little Giants, the little weird looking kid with the bowl cut? Remember him? Yeah. Yeah, that was what I equated to Eric Dickerson. It was Eric Dickerson and that kid. That's it. So, I mean, okay, quietly. I don't want my record broken, but don't look like curmudgeon about it, because now you're Al Bundy. Now you're sitting there with your high school jersey on, watching it like, ain't better than me. Come on now, Flash. You had your time. Somebody said it about you at the time. But the point of an actual person that enjoys and masters the craft is watching somebody try to do better than me. Yeah. And then celebrating it when they actually do. So, I mean, that's my thing. I think Saquon Barkley, I think the Eagles are trying to protect because he is injury prone. That's one thing he does get hurt relatively often. Little nagging things, thunder thigh, hamstring pulls, whatever he has going on. And they're trying to protect themselves from it because that's an investment in their future. If it was the Giants or somebody like that, they let him get it. They figure out a way to make sure he got it against the team that scored him. Right. But I just think it's especially a team as good as the Eagles are and what he means to that team. Yeah, you got to protect him from himself.
I want to address a couple of comments, and this has probably been a long time coming. First and foremost, Carl says, if I didn't know that it was 2025, I would think that it was 2012, and we are in the middle of a drought. Why are y'all so down on this team? If the defense is so bad, why are we number one in takeaways? I'll tell you why we number one. Because our division is absolute trash. And if you look at the quarterbacks that we've played this season, we've only played, 4 playoff caliber quarterbacks? Mm-hmm. You can't even count Tua, and Tua's had a great season. That's fine. But we dominate him. Mm-hmm. He's only won 1 game against us in his entire career. So he don't count, right? Other than that, you're going to include Drake May and Aaron Rodgers in that, right? After that, you're gonna look at the rest of the season. You're gonna say Kyler Murray in game 1. If this was later on in the season, Kyler Murray probably beats us. He was just getting used to his number 1 receiver. That offense didn't know who they were at that point, right? And let's face it, they gave us problems in that game. We didn't just cruise past the Cardinals, right? The Jaguars game, Trevor Lawrence is a dumpster fire right now. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't for injury, he might have been benched, right? And then week 3 was who?
Let's look it up.
Week 3 was.
Pull the schedule up. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
And when I do that, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm down on the team. It sounds like it, but what you got to understand is we can celebrate what's happening now with insight into what the future holds.
100%.
And 2012 happened. It's over. I was 18. Mm-hmm. Or I was, 28. It's done. There's no way for me to go back. And that's the problem with the fan base. The fan base, I feel like I'm in 2012 because in 2012 you're like, we're not going anywhere.
Right.
We suck. Now it's like, Max said it. We're not winning. I have a problem with that. Not because he said it, because I can't subscribe to we're not winning, so I'm going to enjoy this.
Exactly.
So, when people laud a team with your MVP, with a running back, a bona fide running back that the league is starting to respect, a wide receiver who's getting more yak than you've ever seen, but then on the flip side is a defense that just can't hold their weight. After the Rams game, this defense has not been good since. So, when you're talking about being depressing, we're not trying to be depressing, but the point is we want people to not lose sight of what's really happening in front of your face. You can watch any other podcast. Don't turn us off your shit, but you can watch any other podcast, and you'll get all the glory. You'll get all the fun.
Right. But again, like the one of the things that people need to keep in mind, this show is about bringing out the things that don't get talked about on a regular basis. And it's not for the sake of being flashy or just trying to be loud or trying to be whatever. We have taken we've taken great pride in digging below the surface on what's happening around the town with this team, and for us to get caught up like everybody else is in all the glory and the glitz and the glam of winning 14 games this season. There's a back room to every building. There's a dark side to every bright side. And it's not talking about the dark side just for the sake of talking about the dark side. It's talking about what has been stopping this team from winning a Super Bowl for the last 7 years since Sean McDermott has been our head coach. That's really what it comes down to. And I guarantee this, if we had won a Super Bowl by now, this show would probably be very different. Because me as an observer, me as an analyst, me as someone who appreciates the game of football and who knows the game of football would see a head coach that knows what it takes to get to one and knows what it takes to win one. And so therefore the excuse every season after that becomes, well, does he have what he had to get to a Super Bowl and win it? He would get the benefit of the doubt after that. But we can't say that for him now, and we shouldn't be saying that for him now until he wins one. If it's this season, then we'll be able to point to 2024 and say that's the kind of team that we need to build, or we need to build something like that where everybody eats and the defense is number one in takeaways, because we've seen that that's what wins. And on top of that, It didn't just happen that way in 2024. We saw the Chiefs do it. We saw the Bengals get to a Super Bowl with that same mantra, that same mindset. We saw the Rams do it the same exact way. They did it a little bit differently. They traded for some players and they got to a Super Bowl. But we've seen teams do it that way where the defense wasn't that great and the offense was plentiful in effective players. I'll put it that way, right? But again, the mindset is not let's continue to praise this team no matter what and they can do no wrong and this and that the other thing. We do appreciate the success that they've had in the regular season, but we've been on the ride for too long. We're ready to either go higher or get off. That to me is the mindset right now. Either make this ride go a little bit faster so I can get a little bit more wee in my game, or shut this thing down so I can open this chain and get out of here. That's the bottom line. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that mindset, especially with, broken tackles trolling us every chance he gets. Like, Carl, he's responding to Carl. He said they had no better stance to take They have to be negative. It has nothing to do with deciding to be negative.
Yeah, I mean, to look at another comment that Table said, he take the team number one in turnovers and somebody with all the stats. That's not the point of my argument. The point is, we're not looking for somebody that can take over a game. We're not looking for that impact player. We're looking for a team that like you said falls into everybody is 25 yards a person. Everybody is 2 interceptions a person. Where pick your poison, whatever. But the thing is, if you look at the statistics, Steve Lynn called people stats nerds. I'll be a stats nerd for a second, Steve. Actually, for a lot of this, but right. If you look at statistically next gen stats, you know who our best defensive back is? Guys in the chat, who you think? I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to tell me who the best defensive back is we have on our team.
Right
Safeties
now,
safeties and corners involved. Yeah.
Taron Johnson.
Nope. Statistically, now just remember statistically. Next gen stats.
DeMar Hamlin.
Nope.
What?
Nope.
Defensive back. Jamarcus Ingram?
Nope.
So I was trying to reach at that point.
It is a reach to me.
Taylor Rapp?
Yep.
Wow.
Statistically speaking, in advanced metrics, Taylor Rapp is our best defensive back. So never mind Christian Benford. Never mind Rasul Douglas. Jamarcus Ingram was a close second.
Roy said Hamler. He's not even a DB.
He's trolling me at this point.
Yeah,
right. And the thing is, that's my point. When you went through that whole list, and I wasn't trying to put you on the spot, but I kind of want you to do that because I should be able to say, that's it right there. When I look at a roster, that's the guy I'm staying away from.
Right.
The Bills have always had that guy to stay away from. We don't have a pass rusher to stay away from. We don't have anybody to scheme against. It's just run your game. The Bills are going to let you go down the field, and they're going to let you Steve Lynn, don't kill me, but a couple more stats. We're 10th in opposing time to throw.
To be clear, I don't even think he was saying.
No, not to me. I know. I'm just joking around with him.
Yeah.
But defensively, we're 15 in passing yards per play allowed, 15 from the bottom. 10th in opposing time to throw. So that means that we're allowed a 10th most time for the opposing quarterbacks to throw. We're 6th in fastest get off. How does that work when we're 6th in fastest get off, but we're allowed a 10th in opposing time to throw? So you're not getting sacks, but you get off the line fast. So what are your moves? We got the 4th fewest blitzes. Everybody knew that. We're 3rd worst average yards allowed of separation. So that means our defensive backs are not locked. They're not locked down defense. None of them.
Not at all.
Taylor Rapp is in the top. I'd say top 20 in most metrics. What does that glean for us? To put in perspective, Rasul Douglas, your sticky guy that everybody said was sticky, he allows 2.6 yards of separation. Let's go ahead and put that in perspective. Your guy, Levi Wallace, allows 2.7. So 1/10 of a second, 1/10 of a yard of separation more than Rasul Douglas. Levi Wallace.
Basically.
So what are we doing here? Like, it's not negativity. Let me ask you, do you not, whose jersey do you wear? Who do you go to watch besides Josh Allen? You see a million Josh Allens, Keon Coleman 0. Great number. It's groovy.
Right.
But at the same time, where are your Pro Bowlers? We have 2 of them. We have how many All-Pros you think we're going to get? How many top 100 players you think we're going to have? How many Hall of Fame players are we aspiring to get on this team? Mm-hmm. Not guys that are Hall of Fame before they come to Buffalo, but got drafted by Buffalo and matriculate to that status. Do we not want that? If we don't want that, why we do this?
Kato said Wallace is a cold bum.
Exactly.
I hated him when he was here. They never put real competition up against him in the offseason. They never did. They just gifted him the job every year.
But that's my point.
And I'm supposed to be okay with that. I'm supposed to cheer for that. I'm supposed to never say anything bad about that decision. I'm never supposed to say anything negative about any other decision. But like the idea, like seriously, Broken Tables, put your real name in the chat, man. I'm done debating with you in the comments. I'm done debating with you anywhere else. Like. You gotta really like look a brother eye to eye at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like it's frustrating to me. It really is. Laura says I am always open to constructive criticism about how our gameplay could be better. Players and coaches aren't changing until season end.
Sure.
Right. 100%. I'm not even. Steve said he's wearing his PPP sweatshirt. Okay. I appreciate that. You all right? We gonna survive? Okay. Triple P. Yeah.
Ken with PPP. Yeah, he said it today too.
All right. This is all right. There you go. There's your 15 seconds of fame, and now of course you are in timeout. Somebody just said I touched my PP.
Oh,
yeah. Is that what it is? That's the coach's son. That's probably what it is. It's got to be. It's got to be. It makes it well. From what I understand, from what this person has told me, he produces 2 other podcasts that I'd have to go.
Well, what'd they say? No free publicity. You're blocked.
Right. 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 That's about all you're gonna get here, man.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing, it burns me because I know what we set out to do, and I know what the cookie cutter podcasts do. We're aspiring to give people a voice to voice themselves, even if they don't agree, but come with facts. Tell me why. Don't get emotional. Don't get caught up in your feelings. Tell me why. I want to have a debate. That's the point of this show. So to give you the floor. But if you're just going to say negative, shift the paradigm. Why don't you go ahead and convince me to think otherwise? That's the point of the show, really. I want to think otherwise. I want to be okay. I want to be all right with the drought. I want you to tell me why in 2024, with a quarterback that everybody says should be MVP, we're good with breaking the drought 7 years ago. Why is it we're okay with trading up for a cornerback that hasn't played in 4 years? Why is it okay to replace a tight end you already had by trading up for another tight end that you don't use? Why is it okay? Why? Somebody please tell me this stuff.
See, this is what I don't understand. Like, folk be commenting on stuff that we didn't even say. Like, I don't get it. The last thing that Broken Table said before he got banned is we're commenting on separation pre-snap. Did we say pre-snap?
What does that even mean?
You can't gauge separation. Exactly. You can't gauge.
He's watching a different game.
Well, listen, I think he went
to the table with his head first. He must have missed. All
right, that's enough of this.
But no, you know what?
We've never had a troll like this in here before, though. Like, this is the worst it's ever been.
Oh yeah, he definitely is. But Richie Fresh, appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Just found you guys 30 minutes ago. Love your show. Man, we love you too. And you go ahead and block what is it, broken tables, broken cranium,
yeah, he gone.
Broken thought.
He ain't coming back.
No, he ain't coming back.
He ain't coming back. Laura says, someone got blocked. Y'all definitely get momentum when haters arrive.
They were tearing his ass in half in the comment, though.
For real?
Oh, they were.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. I didn't, because I have a show and I have a voice, so of course I could, but I don't, I want to try to just, keep it simple here, keep it easy. I don't want to attack people, you know what I'm saying? But I at the same time will not allow myself to be attacked.
I mean, the thing about it too is I'm gonna give you full disclosure for everybody at home. When we first started this show, I'm like, man, they gonna hate me. They gonna hate me. But then we started getting subscribers, and then we got comments. And we got people that say, you guys do a good job. We like to read. We like this. We don't like that. Do some more of this. But I love it. If I got, I know you hate me for saying it, but if I got no more subs right now, and the people that are watching right now and going to watch tonight and tomorrow rock with us, I'm a happy man.
Yeah.
I really am a happy man because you think about the following we have.
It's still worth it every time.
It is.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a great time. So keep commenting. I don't care if believe me. You got people in this chat. You guys know you got enough chits in the bank that if you disagree, we still love you. But if you don't, we love you still.
OLI, you got to explain that one. He says you're growing. It's a sign of good and bad things. What you mean bad things, bro? Oh my gosh.
Tommy calling you King Hermes is not going to your head. Dang.
Hey, listen. So Roy said I've infected Tommy now. But here's the thing, like the reason me and Tommy click is because we've been on the same wavelength the whole time. Like that's why the show works. That's why the pregame show works. We've both been on this, McDermott ain't the answer and all this other stuff. And to Laura's point, to be clear, because I brought that up for a reason. To Laura's point about we can't make a move until the end of the season. Yeah, I would be upset if they fired him right now. Because it's a pivotal point for the team. We don't need anything that draws, extra media to the team. That we don't need anything that distracts the players. I would absolutely not do it right now. There are some people who would and they wouldn't care. But I still think we have a puncher's chance in the playoffs. I'm not saying that we're gonna blow teams out, but I'm also saying that I'm also not saying that we're gonna get blown out. We have a chance in every game that we play. Now this wild card round, we should win. Right? But in terms of how the Bills measure against their own history, the divisional round is where you get to where you say it's a toss-up because we've only been past that round one time. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm looking at that situation as a whole, my immediate conclusion is if you're gonna fire him, you don't do it right now. You know what I'm saying? The immediate conclusion is you're right, Laura. You're right. You gotta wait and see what happens. Right. But the reason I bring up this stuff is just because I want people to be mentally prepared for what they should think or what they should feel or what they should. Let me put it like this: the thoughts and feelings that you should start to process at the end of the season. I'm not saying that these thoughts and feelings have to make you reach a negative conclusion on McDermott. But I think we need to start thinking and processing these feelings, these thoughts and feelings about what happens if Sean doesn't do it this season. We have to start thinking about that. And again, to be clear, it doesn't mean you have to arrive at fire McDermott. It doesn't mean that. But if you are not at least thinking about what comes after we don't win a Super Bowl this year or we don't even get to a Super Bowl this year, then you're doing yourself a disservice and you're not being objective. You're not being honest with yourself. You're choosing to live in a pocket of, I want to only be happy. I only want good vibes. And listen, for as much as anybody in the world strives to have that, it's not realistic that every single day is going to be filled with nothing but good vibes. We have to learn how to endure. We have to learn how to persevere. And so do the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, there's things called bad matchups, and that happens. That's going to occur. But the thing is, when you look at what could be prevented, what could have happened. I mean, we're saying the same things we said before the season started when they constructed the team. We're saying the same things we said when we first started the show. It might be a little more articulate now. It might be a little more thought-provoking put together. But the fact still remains, the best defense on this team is the offense. I mean, that's just how it is. The best defense on this team is the offense. If you had to rely on this if the offense was doing nothing, see Houston, you have to rely on the defense, you're not going to win. So, it's to me, it's a matter of a disservice. And I'll put this to you guys in a way that Josh Allen would come into the fold here. To do Josh Allen right, to do right by Josh Allen is to get another side of the football. Complimentary football is what McDermott always talks about. Complimentary football is that and a third. Yeah. But your defense is lackluster. Your numbers they're whatever. You still find a way to get sacks, but why is it so hard? Yeah. Why your DBs got to work so hard? Why do we only have 2 interceptions per player? You know how many more interceptions they have the front four got to the quarterback? You know how many more sacks we have if the D-backs could cover for the 10 seconds you said earlier? Yeah. It's just not possible. You got to pick one or the other and work on it. Right now people are talking about the wide receiver. I want a wide receiver, but I'm ready to get rid of that. Yep. Build me a defense that's elite enough to go ahead and let Josh Allen take a day off if he has to. Build me a defense where we can say, you know what, we might be able to beat Pittsburgh with Josh Allen injured. Because everybody says, if he's out, we're done. You don't want to know what happens if he misses a game. Why is it that it's always, if he's out, we're screwed? You know, you left yourself no money to rectify the situation. You can't go ahead and get an impact player. At the same time, somebody, I forget who it was, I'm sorry, they said in the comments, get a GM that can manage the cap. Until Josh Allen came, it was easy to manage the cap. Way easier because you don't have that $60 million albatross floating over your head.
Yep.
But now they don't know what to do. They have no idea. They really never had an idea how to draft. They really had no idea how to bring in free agents that fit their scheme because they never had a scheme. You know, so now we just got guys who are playing on motors. They're playing on goodwill. They're playing on faith. They're playing on team building. That's good, but that's not going to get you that bowl.
Right.
And that's what bothers me the most.
I'm about to say something that is probably going to shake the show for a minute.
Uh-oh.
Bills Mafia North says he got lucky as hell with McDermott. And he's talking about I've been reading his comments as he puts them in here. Mm-hmm. He's been talking about Pegula and how part of the reason. Let me just go back to it so I'm not screwing up what he said. He says the main reason I can't get behind getting rid of McDermott is because of the Sabres. Oddly enough, I do not trust Terry Pegula to be in the process of hiring a coach any better than McDermott. I think that's a great point.
Yeah.
I also think that's what gave me a little bit of hope with the new ownership group that came on, this season in Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, and
Josie Altidore.
And Josie Altidore. They are athletes. They came from playing the game in their respective sports. I think Vince Carter's been to a NBA Finals, right? Mm-hmm. And so has McGrady. Mm-hmm. And Altidore was a great soccer player, wasn't he? Yeah. So they have all played at the highest level and gotten to the highest level in their sport. I think that makes a difference in the room when it comes to making a decision on who a coach is, what his philosophies are, and how those will translate to wins. So I do have a little bit more hope now with those guys being in the room. But yeah, if it was just Pegula, I'd be in the same boat with you. And the shocking thing that I'm going to say is I actually agree that we did get lucky with Sean McDermott coming here as a head coach. I agree with that 100%. I think getting Sean McDermott here was winning the lotto from the standpoint of every other guy like Sean McDermott that we've tried to get in here was not able to do what he did with the team that he did. Not even Rex Ryan, not even Doug Marrone. You know what I'm saying? And the team that made the playoffs in 2017 was a team that we had for 3 years. We knew they were an elite defense, but they needed something on offense that either we weren't getting from Tyrod Taylor or that we weren't getting from the offensive line or we weren't getting from you name it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? There was something missing from that team, and Sean was able to get them to play well enough to be in position to get help from other teams to get into the playoffs, right? Now, I will also, in that same breath, say that it's cool to win the lotto when it's $100,000. I had a family member that won the lotto when it was $100,000, right? Mm-hmm. And it propelled them. You know what I mean? They used it very well. They invested it well, and they are so much better off now than they were, right? So winning $100,000 is cool. But there's a big difference between winning $100,000 and winning $1 billion in Josh Allen. And I think what happened was Buffalo as a city and as a team won the $100,000 with Sean McDermott, but then Sean McDermott turned around and won $1 billion with Josh Allen, right? And that's the dynamic right now. And I don't think that's I think it's an ominous statement. I don't think it's a good statement or a bad statement. I just think it is what it is. But if that's the case, then everything that we think about that setting, everything we think or feel about that truth should reflect that thought process at all times, that Sean McDermott is the $100,000 lotto and Josh Allen is the billion, right? But somewhere along the line, people bought into the culture talk. They bought into making the playoffs every season. and they switched it up and made it more like this, where, as long as we got Josh Allen, we'll win, but that's as far as they let Josh Allen's influence go. It's more so about we're winning because Sean McDermott. If we get rid of Sean McDermott, there's no guarantee we'll win. Well, wait a second. Is Josh Allen not good enough? Has he not shown enough to show that he can win despite, the odds, despite the deficit of talent, despite the imposition of the team we're playing? Has he not shown that by now? Has Sean McDermott showed that? That's the kicker.
Yeah.
That's where we get caught up. That's where we start having these types of discussions is one guy has shown he can do it no matter who he faces. The other guy has shown there's like 2 or 3 guys he can't consistently beat when it counts. You know what I'm saying? So, again.
You know what I was thinking, though?
What?
Broken tables, you hear that? Oh, wait, you're blocked. Never mind. You know what would have saved his day? He would have made his day better as a Friday. He was really salty. He was very salty.
Since day one, and I never understood it.
He was very salty. So you know what we should have did? We should have been better hosts. We should have offered him some Reese's tea.
Oh, he wouldn't have trolled us if we would have gave him some tea.
Why? Because it's refreshing, it's delicious, and it's healthy.
I don't even know how to unblock folks.
I don't either. I mean, there's a button somewhere, but I don't think Reese's tea can even get to the bottom of that. There's 4 ingredients, and one of them's not unblocking people. I don't know. So we got to talk to your people to see if they can put that in there. I don't drink tea, but it's a good drink there. What you doing heading over to Reese's? Get yourself a sample by the case or the individual. Why would you do the individual? Get a case. You won't be disappointed. But what do I know? See for yourself. Reese's tea. Click the link in the description and use the code PostPodium Podcast. Let them know who sent you.
That's right. The best tasting tea in town. Listen. OLI is in the show, which means I got to time this bad boy. I used to just do this 2 to 3 times. I can't do it with my man OLI in the game right now. All right, look. If you have not done this yet, please like, subscribe, hit that bell, make that thing.
Ring-a-ling-a-ling.
Oh, we almost didn't get it. You trying to make me late? You trying to win?
You give me tea, I'll troll you forever. All right, go ahead.
Oh my gosh. All right. So listen, we appreciate everybody that showed up today. We got over 100 live viewers with us right now. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. This is why we do what we do. We just want to have a conversation. Yep. We just want to make it entertaining. We just want to have some fun. Okay. So the other thing I need everybody to do, we are 10 followers away from being able to stream live on Facebook. If y'all can help us out and just give us 10 more followers so we can get to 100 on Facebook, that'll allow us to start streaming on there and expanding our network and getting to where we want to be as a show so that we can do more, be more, and give you guys more. That's why we're here.
That 10 person gets this water bottle. Okay.
We can do a giveaway. You want to do a giveaway?
Yeah. Now we'll find something for you. Just
no doubt.
Make that 10 happen. We'll make it worth your while.
That'll work. All right. Rena Brown. She was our 500 subscriber. Her hoodie is being sent out tonight. She got a black joint.
Ooh,
she got a black joint.
Okay.
It's dope.
All right. She got a black one. That's what's up. She got a black one. I like that.
Yes, Bills Mafia North, you have to subscribe now. You don't have a choice. I'm just kidding. So all right, so that's it. Listen, we got the store getting ready to open very, very soon. We have new content coming. What I missed?
No, look.
Yo, we could. Why not? We can give away the Doogie Juice. Why not? Bro, hand me the award.
No.
Hand me the award. Who would not want this? Listen, our 100th follower. Who does not want this award right here? This is the Doogie Juice award. You see the little turd in there? It's great. Huh? Why? This is an award. You see the little trophy part on the top? This person is happy to be standing on top of Doogie Juice.
Hey, you know.
This is how we roll.
Hey, we appreciate, and we want to talk to you guys more often than we do. So
Laura said, "Oh hell no!"
Right, I would, yeah. If I become the 500, I unsubscribe to somebody else got it, then I resubscribe. But anyway, signing off for you guys. I gotta get to work, so I will talk to you next time. There's been 40 Keys,
and this has been Aramis. Thank y'all for joining us. Y'all have a great night.
Peace out.